Okay, this is Founder Laerun. Welcome to Session 1 of the Silver Marches. We're using Fantasy Grounds version 3.3.10 as of March 2020. And I have a nice group of adventurers handpicked and invited throughout our members in the college. And I am hoping to see Cassandra show up soon, but I'm going to go down the list here. I'd like you guys to introduce yourselves as characters. So I'll start with the lineup in the interface. So let's see. We have Daedra. So Daedra, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I am hooded because, well, I'm beautiful, but not without marring. I've been burned down the left side of my face. I try to hide that with my cloak. Presumably, during an accident using flaming oil against a troll when I was young. As you know, I am a ranger, and trolls are something I despise.
All right. So where do you hail from?
I was born at the outside of Baldur's Gate. My mother was a leather worker who was trying to hawk wares there, and my father was studying at Candlekeep. I don't know how they met, but he found something in the library there that he had to research and kind of just left us. So I was almost raised just by my mother.
Okay. Let's go with Skugmoe.
Hi, I'm Mo.
Hi, Mo. Where do you live? Where are you from?
I live in Silverymoon. I work as torchbearer. I guide people and help them if they are friend of Mo. Mo friends are good friends. Those who are not friends of Mo, not Mo friends.
Okay. So Skugmoe, what do you do for a living, or how do you take care of yourself?
I'll guide people, carry torch, show around town.
Very good. Next we have Wilbur, Brightspark.
Hello, everyone. I am Wilbur Brightspark. I'm a little bit of an eccentric gnome. My defining feature is the stark white hair that's always up and out in every direction. Big giant goggles that sit above my forehead covered in brass implements with lots of little switches on them that bring lenses down so I can see some small parts better. Um, Very eccentric clothes, bright colors, always weaving in and out, and even some open parts revealing some pretty trusty metal armor beneath. At my side is always my trusty mechanical beast Rufus. He is made out of brass, and you can see clockwork machinations whirring away within his very stocky form. And behind his eyes is a small light green glow of light, and when it opens its mouth, you see small wisp of steam escape from the inside.
Pretty cool. And Chazron. Chaz, are you with us?
Somehow I lost. Anyway, I am an elf. I am typically wearing robes of the ladies' college where I'm attending. I am currently looking around to find my circus mate out here on this adventure, Cass. I'm sure she's around somewhere. We'll see her eventually. I'm known for not being very tall, but I have my golden hair and my silver eyes.
Charming. And we have Amber Frostbeard.
I am Amber Frostbeard. I hail from Citadel Adbar, where I am a cleric, and I am traveling with my pony, Honey. Pat's the pony. And I think that's about it. What else do you need to know about me? I'm mysterious, I guess. I just had to paste my whole backstory back in. It was gone. Let's see. Oh, why don't I read from this? Yeah. Oh, I'm a part of the Order of the Gauntlet, and I that is a wait, did we lose somebody or somebody come in? Maybe somebody came in.
Okay.
Anyway, the Order of the Gauntlet is an order that it's a faction that tries to fight against evil stuff. So I don't like evil stuff. I'm a lawful good person, and let's see. Yeah, they let me in even though they normally worshipped here, but because I'm a dwarf, I worship a dwarven goddess Baroner 2 silver, and they allowed me in their faction because we like the same stuff. We don't like evil people and other things that are evil. So yeah, that's kind of my backstory.
All right. And then we have Ren, the Bugbearian.
I, Ren, me tree boy from High Forest, Ember friend. So yeah, Ren is a bugbear. It's been raised in the High Forest. He thinks he's a tree, and he's just a teenager, but he has to prove he's an adult, so he can be a warrior or a protector. And he's Amber's friend.
Very cool. So, just to summarize, kind of some of the backstories that we had worked on. I have you guys set up in teams, and the main reason for that is for role play and also to kind of pair you up with somebody you wouldn't normally play with and get to know that person in and out of the game a little bit. So, Daedra and Wilbur are actually recent allies. They haven't known each other for very long, but they met in the trade city along the Raven River. And for the life of me, I can never remember the name of it. But,
Everland.
Yes, Everland. Thank you. So they met up in Everland, and they were basically heading up to Silverymoon. Daedra was going to escort him up there because there are a lot of dangers, including the constant threat of trolls and bandits and brigands and such along the pathways, especially near the Nether Mountains. So she had volunteered and actually gets a wage, I believe. I don't know what you guys have negotiated, but there is some sort of incentive for taking her to Silverymoon or taking him. So that is your guys' journey basically together is you met in Everland. You had arranged passage to go to Silverymoon. And it just so happens that the Greengrass Festival was going. So Wilbur really likes to stop in Silverymoon because he gets a lot more business there. And he can sell some of his wares and also buy supplies and such, which are usually very unusual. In Silverymoon, there's a lot of things that show up during the week of Greengrass. So it's a time of celebration, but it's also a time where a lot of different crafts, wares, brews, and wines, and all kinds of different things come out of the woodwork. So you will have a better chance at finding more exotic and unique items during the festival. At least they'll be more accessible. So those two have met in Everland, and if you have the map handy, it's south along the Raven River, not far from the Nether Mountains. And it is a place that is pretty good-sized settlement. It sees a lot of foot traffic throughout the year because it is a trading city. It's like a big trade craftsman city, so Wilbur fits right in. I think that Daedra would stop there probably once or twice a month for supplies, and also to check in with the local guilds and such, and see if anyone needs any help or if there's any jobs for her that she can do. But I don't see you staying there all the time. I think it's a place that more or less a monthly stopover for you. I think you'll spend most of your time in the wilderness away from Everland, depending on the season too. Okay, so the next team that I had formulated was Bugbearian Wren and Amber Frostbeard. Now, if you look at the map, if you have it up, those two came over the Silverymoon Pass together. They met along the road, and their meeting was circumstantial. During the dangerous trip that Amber had taken from Citadel Adbar, she had stopped by Sundabar and took a day's rest and fed her pony, and then at that point she disembarked, and she stopped by Uvendale, and on her way through the pass, she was assailed by misfortune, where a group of rogues and ruffians ambushed her. But they didn't do it intentionally just for her. They were actually just trying to scout the road and take whatever they can get. So Amber fell prey to one of their traps, and she was basically hanging upside down by a rope right off the main road. So during this unfortunate accident, the Bugbearian happened to be in the vicinity, and he has how did we describe it? A hankering for bandits. He doesn't care for them too much, and he knows they're trouble. However, they're not as much trouble as the orcs that live in the area. So he probably looks at them as a necessary evil, probably observes them, and makes sure that they stay out of trouble. And he probably indirectly helps them from the orcs. So that's kind of a unique presence that you'd have. But nonetheless, you were curious about the predicament that Amber fell into, and he rescued her, cut her down right before a bunch of the bandits had come up to see what they had caught in the trap. And the two of them made haste up to the top of the pass. There's a hawk's nest, and it's basically a tower, a watchtower and a fort. And the Bugbearian stayed in the wilderness while Amber reported in and had reported that the bandits were along the road harassing people and that she almost fell prey to their traps. So the patrols from Silverymoon made haste to Silverymoon to get a couple more reinforcements and to warn others that there was still trouble along the road. So they're going to send some more knights and some more volunteers and such to patrol the roads so that's safe for the Greengrass Festival. They can't have bandits and rogues ambushing people to and from the pass. So they took her warning seriously, and they sent the message ahead to Silverymoon. So right now, after that incident, Wren and Amber have left the Hawk's Nest, and they've made it to the bottom of the pass, and they're on their way to Silverymoon, and they happen to have their eye caught by the circus that has been set up along the main roads there. So that is a one reason why they have chose to come down from the pass. They have to pass through this way anyways, but the circus is kind of an attraction along the way. So that's one reason why they're there. But Ren doesn't typically travel during the day, so he usually catches up to her, or he's a day ahead of her, and he comes out at night generally. So there is that. And so far, he's kept his presence fairly secretive, so he hasn't really made a big public appearance yet.
So, are we making assumptions that we've divulged all this to each other already?
I'm kind of just opening up the the beginning of the series, because that's something that we weren't able to role play out. So I'm just kind of giving the information just so we have an idea where we're starting from. And then the Chaz and Cassandra are allies and friends in Silverymoon, and they are getting ready to head out for the festival. They realize that the city is setting up for it, and they are in the midst of meeting with Skugmoe indirectly. And Skugmoe is basically a kind of a passing resident, an accidental resident of Silverymoon, and he is doing his thing in the city to survive. And he's met some interesting individuals in the city, and including Cassandra. And Cassandra kind of took pity on him and kind of brought her into her little circle of friends. And it looks like Chaz will get his chance to talk to Skugmoe a little bit more in regards to some unique wares that he had found earlier in the month. So this is kind of where we stand. Everyone's kind of either in Silverymoon or in the vicinity of Silverymoon, heading towards the city for Greengrass Festival. By the time this all occurs, it is basically the day before the festival. For one reason or another, you have been invited to the circus, and the circus is not far from the town. It's like, I would say, less than a half an hour away. And it is an attraction that most people in the region try to catch. So it's by chance and by fate that all of you have agreed to come to this point in time where you're meeting for the first time all together. Some of you know each other, most of you don't. So this is the time where we were going to start, is at the circus.
Okay. So
this is the starting point. And the circus itself was more or less a something that only occurs every 4 or 5 years, in like a leap year, and it's not something that you would normally get to see, so that makes it even more unique. So it's not annual, and it is something that is kind of somewhat known. They don't always make it to Silverymoon too. Sometimes they'll skip the region. So the show changes over the years, as do its helpers. And one of the things that's attracted you to this place is that there is the promise of food and work, and there were flyers in the city of Silverymoon. Also, when you guys were at the Hawk's Nest in Silverymoon Pass, there was a flyer there. So all across the region, there have been flyers flown. And even in Everland, it was rumored that the circus would be there for Greengrass. So that is what's brought you to the circus. So any questions before we get going?
Since I was detained or whatever by the bandits, did I lose any of my supplies? Because you had mentioned that you thought that maybe I might have, but in your description, you didn't sound like the bandits ever got to me before Ren took them out.
No, Ren actually scared them away before they really had a chance to get to your stuff. And as a matter of fact, most of your stuff was on your pony. So they weren't able to take anything from you. They didn't get a chance to do what they would do. It normally would just be to take all your stuff. So Ren showed up in the nick of time to keep them from harming you much, other than embarrassing you. When you were hanging upside down, the worst part about it is your head was throbbing, and it was beet red because you'd been hanging upside down for nearly an hour. Thank God that Ren had showed up, because you were starting to get dizzy and lightheaded. So it was one of those tense moments where you weren't sure what was going to happen to you, but you prayed and prayed to Barona True Silver, and your prayers were answered by the Bugbearian Ren. Anybody else have any questions, comments, or?
And we all know Mo?
You all know Mo? No, I would say that Mo only really knows Chaz by recently, and he knows Cassandra very well. But he doesn't know the rest of the group. And I would say that he was tagging along or going to follow Chaz and Cassandra to the circus. So that's how those two know Mo is through Cassandra. She's kind of his, I want to say, like, helper. She helps him, he helps her, kind of thing. And she's constantly into all this charity and helping people in the city, so she always gets wrapped up with these strange and unusual types.
Okay, and secondly, do we know who invited us?
You know, good question. The flyer was created by employees of the circus. Drillbus's Circus is what it's called. It's kind of like your Barnum and Bailey. From what you were told, and if you asked around, if anybody inquired, you were told that he is an eccentric old half-elf, and he spent many years traveling far and wide. He's been through hundreds of towns and villages. He tends to go along different areas, and like I said, he acquires new acts. Sometimes they are unique, talented individuals. Sometimes it might be an exotic creature. It really depends on, the time and, what year it is, and, his success. So far, he seems to be very successful, and he always seems to have a crew of people that are with him. Now, what I mean with him, like working for him. It is rumored that sometimes some strange individuals or potentially criminals or people hiding will work in these type of venues. Other times there are people who have nowhere else to go. They will go and work at the circus. The promise of travel and money and adventure are what the main thing that this flyer promises. So he goes from villages and towns to some of the richest cities. And supposedly he collects wondrous items and trinkets. And he also finds strange and unique and often dangerous things that have been known to go bad in the past. Some people have accused him of witchcraft and all kind of sorts of sorcery, and so he's got a little bit of a reputation that isn't always as savory as you would like. However, the uniqueness and the amount of things that people look for in his circuses are far and wide. So that everyone has their own unique reason to go to the circus. Some people just want the entertainment. Some people want work. Some people just want the adventure, the exploration side of it. Everyone has their reasons to go. But all of you have to kind of come up with what would compel you to want to go to this kind of show. I don't want to make that up for you. I want you to think about a circus or a large event that is like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So it's not just a sideshow. It's a large cult following, and there's a lot of people that would pay good money to see some of the attractions and also to be invited as an employee. So it just kind of depends on your disposition and where you are in your life when you visit the circus. So people from all over the land will flock to the circus. They're usually eager to catch glimpses of the curious acts that go on, some of the weird doodads and terrifying stunts under the big top. Some of the greatest acts were supposedly volunteers. Sometimes it was rumored that they were cut in half by some of the tricks and magic that he had put forward. Also, there had been people who had disappeared from the circus. There were some people who had joined that never returned. So it's really a strange circus, and a lot of the individuals that go to these types of things are fairly unique and interesting, and also very I don't know how to say mysterious, or potentially they don't come out very often. So that is another thing that might attract people. Law enforcement might go there to looking for someone. They also, factions and such might send people there to investigate some of the missing people. There's just all kinds of things, rumors, and just things that you'd have to see for yourself in order to make a judgment on the circus. So anybody else have any questions about the circus? Or
That sounds like a neat place.
yeah, as a matter of fact, I have a nice little map for you guys. So this is Drillbus's Enchanted Circus is what it's titled.
And what's his race again?
What's that?
What's his race again?
Oh, Drillbus? He
Yeah.
is a half-elf, an old eccentric half-elf.
Okay.
So he is basically he's a kind of a strange individual that really no one really knows where he comes from. He almost has that Willy Wonka thing going on.
You can tell by looking at the map. This is a Jared Blando map, huh?
Yep.
Gee, I don't know how I knew that.
So most of you are at the front gate, and you notice this large big top tent in front of you, and there's a large open curtainway. The entrance of the main show tent has these huge open like curtain like things hanging from the edge, and also the It looks like a faint white circle is on the ground near the tent itself. So you can see this strange glowing kind of light that kind of lights up the entryway to the big tent, the big top. So I'm going to lock the tokens now. And I would like to start there. So you look around and you can hear all sorts of a cacophony of sounds. You hear laughter, you hear screaming, you hear people, individuals like townsfolk that came probably from Silverymoon and the surrounding areas. You can see them going in and out of these tents. You can see smoke and steam rising out of a couple of the tents. There's a huge barbecue pit at this place where everyone's gathering. And then there's a fun house over to the right where there's a large line that goes into this fun house area. And then there are some benches and some really strange looking features. To your right, you see a huge set of bones. And that was one of the things that caught your eye as you came to see the circus. There's this huge, big top tent, and to the right of that, if you can see that big, huge carcass of bones, it almost looks like a dinosaur display.
I thought it looked like a dragon.
Why don't you roll a perception check?
Gee, why don't I do that?
So, from your assessment, you just kind of just blurt that out loud. It looks like a dragon, she says. And the rest of you concur. It definitely looks like the remains and a full skeletal remain of dragons complete. It's not missing anything. It almost looks like it might have been captured alive and kept and then stripped down. Because normally when you find the carcasses, the bones have evidence of battle, or there'll be some shattered bones. This one seems pretty complete. If any of you would like to roll a medicine check, you could confirm that. This thing must have been...
I will roll medicine check since that is my specialty.
Okay.
Let's see how this dragon died.
Okay. So as you examine the bones, you do confirm that all of the bones are complete. You do not see anything or you don't feel anything out of the ordinary. And when I say feel, like the sense of the aura, but you do get the the impression that they don't want this thing touched. You have these two large statues sitting near the bones, and they seem to be a deterrent or perhaps some sort of guardian of the bones themselves. So there are people walking close, but they're not touching the bones.
While I'm over here, could I do a perception on the statues and see if there is any kind of like magic radiating from it or anything to keep people from touching it or anything?
Let's have you move over that way. Okay, so as you walk over, in the mouth of the dragon is a rope with a sign. And there is a warning, do not touch the dragon bones. And the statues themselves, they look like guardians of some sort. So go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
That was what I was going to suggest, Ethan. Okay, hopefully that was good.
You don't really know per se what the exact Dwemer or or what type of magic exists in this place. As a matter of fact, your reading of any magic is kind of weird. But you do imagine and you do look from common sense that those things might indeed be some form of guardian. So you're not sure for sure, but you do understand that it is set up that way.
You said now. Did you say we know each other? We don't know each other because I don't
You
want
don't.
to say talk to the part. Okay, so I can't. The only one that I know is Ren, right? So I could talk. Well,
Yes.
I can't really talk to him because he's there. Maybe he understood that. I'm trying to tell him that these guys are guarding the bones.
Now, Ren has a set of manacles on, and he has a rope that you are dragging with you. It is
What?
loose. Yes, it is loosely tied to him so that it
I
looks
don't
like.
remember that. Okay.
Well, the reason that is because this was set up so that it wouldn't look like he's wild and running loose.
Yeah, gotcha.
It looks more like you have him under control and that, people won't be scared of his presence. So it's basically kind of like what they did with Chewbacca in Star Wars. They manacled him, made him look like he was a prisoner. But he's really not.
So anyway, that's what I am trying to reveal to him as I pull him close to me with the rope and go.
Ren is extremely scared, but Amber, he's just pretending to be a tree or a bush as he moves along, hoping that no one sees him for who he is.
Yeah, you get the people passing by, and they kind of shake their head like, what the hell? I guess you see it all here. And there's
I've got a bush and a rope.
So I'll approach, I guess, Rufus here. Or Chaz. So, my good Barker, when's the next show?
Are you talking to the dog?
Is Rufus a dog?
He is a mechanical dog.
No, the one in front of the main tent.
Oh.
The Steel Defender.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
a dog.
Yep.
He should be
All
okay.
right. I didn't know he was a dog. I got you. He's with Wilbur. All right. I'm going to look at the sign here and see when the next show is.
Okay. So you move up and you look and it says, come on in. Spectacular. You look at foot traffic going in and out. And it looks like something very powerful has brought this place together. You notice a rune on the ground next to the doorway. Would you care to investigate?
Sure, I'll take a look at the rune.
Okay. So let's roll an Arcana check and let's see what comes up. All right. So you take a really cursory glance at it, catches your eye, and it kind of alarms you a little bit. Can you roll an investigation? So imagine you're probably kneeling down close to the without touching, and you trace the sigil and the markings on the ground, and at that moment you remember in your studies that the magic that is scribed here is something that's not very common. And when I say not common, it's ancient magic. It's something that's very unique, and it belongs to that of the Netherese long ago.
Hmm.
So it's really, really uncouth to have that type of magic here. And it's very powerful illusionary magic.
Interesting. I am even more intrigued. I will then stand up and enter the tent.
And you are really hoping to find Cassandra. You're probably thinking that she's either already in or she's in trouble somewhere.
Yep.
So once you're inside, you notice a large wooden stage. It has a powdered circle surrounding it. Roll Arcana, please. Immediately, you recognize it as a protection circle. So, depending on who performs on that stage, you're assuming that the circle is meant to protect the observers, or vice versa. So you're not sure which way the protection circle is protecting, but you imagine that it protects the people in the crowd.
I am even more intrigued. So I will come in, grab a seat kind of up front if I can,
Okay.
and then scan around to see if I can see Cassandra and or her little friend Skug.
Okay. I am going to reveal a little bit more of the map.
And I think to myself, this was definitely worth dragging my ass out of the lady college and my books. I've already learned something new.
This is where line of sight will come in so handy.
Exactly. Okay. So you set yourself up there and you're waiting for the act to start. There are a few other individuals in here. They seem to be sitting alone, which is kind of weird. Not too many groups of people hanging out, just you and a couple others. And they seem to have their eyes kind of transfixed on the stage. There's nothing happening right now, but there is a slight glow in this area. You imagine it's a magical glow. And you are really baffled by the amount of detail and trouble that someone went through to anchor this place to the grounds here. Is that rune that was painted here on the entryway is a very, very powerful anchor.
All right.
And the only time you have anchors is when you have portals that lead to other worlds. So it has a combination of a portal and a very powerful illusion.
I am doubly intrigued. I was expecting a tent of an alternate or extra dimensional size, but this is now unexpected.
Okay, so Daedra.
Wilbur, what do you say we go in and get a better look?
Yes, I think we should probably head into the tent. Probably not finding what I'm looking for back here. Wilbur, come along. Wow. Rufus, come along.
Talking to yourself?
Okay, so let's retrace that.
Okay.
Okay, so how do you move in Fantasy Grounds? So Daedra, you can go in. You'll have to retrace it.
Okay, I don't know how to undo it.
I already did. Okay, then from there you can trace. There you go. That's what I was looking for. I'm just trying to get you guys. I'm not trying to be a dick. I just want you guys to get used to not moving through walls and such. Okay, so you come in and you see, and you hear and you smell, the really strange ozone kind of smell. You don't feel very comfortable here, and you notice this powdery surface sitting along the periphery of the stage. So your spidey senses are definitely high, Daedra.
So it would be like after a rainstorm or a lightning strike?
Yeah,
The
you
smell?
kind of have that smell like you kind of,
Ozone.
yeah, ozone. It's kind of a metallic chemical smell.
I will turn to Wilbur and say, I smell lightning. And I'll say it loud enough that anyone within 10 feet can hear.
Okay.
Uh,
What do you think?
do I?
Go ahead and roll Arcana, Wilbur.
Yeah,
Wilbur?
perfect. I was just about to ask if I smelled the same thing in Arcana.
Yes, you did. You definitely know there's magic afoot, but you get the impression that the magic here is super uber powerful. Something that you haven't come across in your studies so far. You realize that the magic is ancient, that it is very old, and it is not something that most people in this world would even understand.
Daedra, this is ancient stuff. We probably don't want anything to do with what's going on here.
It is not natural, is it?
Certainly not.
Maybe we should make our way quickly through.
That would be my best plan as well. Rufus, on alert, please.
Okay.
Do we see an exit to this tent? Or is it just the entrance that we came in?
There is a entryway or an exit from behind the stage. There is a parted curtain, but you don't know where it leads other than the darkness beyond.
Let's not go that way, Wilbur. What do you say we just go around by the dragon bones?
And Wilbur, you notice the circle of protection as well.
Is that the inner circle there?
The white powdery substance. Yes. There's a brazier that's lit that's kind of magically glowing. There is a light glow in here. It's fairly dim. There are some strange apparatus up on top of the stage. There's a bloody blade. There are some tables up there that looks like someone was massacred. And there are various benches and debris on the stand. So there's like empty urns and wine bottles, and it looks like people have come and gone, but who knows when and why.
I'd like to either investigation or perception or insight or something. Is this staged? Is this something that I want to try and figure out if this is like something that's staged for a performance, if they're trying to just kind of make this seem a little bit more mystical than it might normally be.
Okay. So based off your initial perceptions, you know that there's some powerful magic afoot. If you roll an insight, you can look at your new acquaintance Chaz's face, So I want you to roll an insight. So as you enter, you look up in the stands, and you kind of look around, and you see Chaz's face. And he looks, I wouldn't say enthralled, but he looks very curious about this magic that's here. And some of the other people that are in here, there's only a few, are basically focused on the stage. But the reasoning you're not so sure about, other than the fact that it is powerful. And when I say it, we're talking like the entire tent and the location.
Okay.
You don't feel threatened, but you definitely feel a little bit uncomfortable.
I don't like this one bit. You there. Chaz hasn't introduced himself to us, has
No,
he?
he
Not yet.
seems fairly focused on what's going on around the big top here.
I'm just looking around.
I will. Wilbur will move up to Chaz and kind of like tap him on the shoulder to get his attention.
Okay. So as you move through there, he's sitting on that bench, and you reach over to touch him. Chaz, out of the corner of your eye, you notice the gnome sticking his little hand out.
Why, may I help you?
Yes, and I'll drop my hand. Do you have any idea what's going on here? Name's Wilbur, by the way.
Good to meet you, Wilbur. I am Chaz. Liadron. No, I'm quite intrigued. I was expecting some simple parlor tricks and maybe exotic animals, but based on the runes and the summoning or protection circle, I am now doubly intrigued as to the show we intend to see tonight. I was not expecting this, not at all. Even more so happy that I was drug out of my studies for it.
Practitioner then?
Yes, actually at the ladies' college. Yourself?
Not so much. I make trinkets. But I do know enough to know that whatever's going on here, I don't want to have any part of this.
Not one for magic, I take it.
Not for magics that I don't understand.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I'm staying. Interesting sigil outside for the tent. Interesting protection circle inside here. I'm curious what's illusion and what's not. So, I'm here to learn, and maybe I'll be entertained as well.
Daedra, do you think we should stick around, or?
Well, I am charged with protecting you, so if you want to leave, we may. If you want to hang back, we may do that as well.
Let's find some standing room only. And chill out there.
I think it's all seating. We are in the standing room only.
Then I will stay here until someone tells me to move.
Okay. I will be next to you.
As you contemplate whether you're coming or staying, you look back and you see Rufus, and then he disappears from your sight instantly. And as a matter of fact, you lose your link that you have with him, Wilbur.
What?
He was there, You turned around to see where he was. He was right behind you. And you turn back, and now he's gone. As if in thin air. As if he didn't exist. And you feel the link break, or the bond break that you had with him.
Can Daedra see the expression on Wilbur's face?
Oh, it's surprise. He is. He's flabbergasted. There's not another word for it.
And you're looking behind, not at the stage, but at the entrance.
Yes, where Rufus was.
Daedra is trying to get a sense of any different smells, any new smells or vibrations or anything that's changed. Because she does know that Rufus was there and Rufus is gone.
Yeah.
She's trying to find an explanation for that.
Make an Arcana check. Magic is not your forte, although you're no stranger to it. Okay. You don't sense anything different other than the look on Wilbur's face. Almost a look of horror. Or doubt. And you've never seen him, in the short time that you've known him, to look that way.
I'll call over to Chaz, who I don't know. I'll say, you, there, do you have any explanation? Did you see his dog went missing?
Well, do you have anything to say, Chaz?
Sorry.
Do you have anything to say?
Apologies, my daughter was just...
Gotcha.
So if somebody asked me something, I missed it. If they didn't, then I'm just watching.
Yes, I asked you, stranger, if you could have any explanations why my friend's dog went missing just now.
A dog. Well, there's food all around here. I'm sure it wandered off for a bite of sausage or some succulent meat.
Rufus doesn't eat.
Oh. Skeleton dog. That's odd, and you see a slightly distasteful look upon my face.
No, nothing unnatural.
Well,
just
slightly unnatural. Made of metal.
But not unsavory.
Oh, a golem. Interesting.
Similar, yes.
That seems to be very odd. Why a golem should wander off. I was initially thinking this might be an extra planar tent. So, not entirely sure as whether or not maybe it's just outside and you need to pull it in. I'm not sure. Again, new and ancient magics. Lots to study.
This is why I don't trust these things. I'll be right back.
Okay. And in fact, because of that, I now turn and I'm making a little bet that I've probably got a little time before the show starts. I'm going to take 10 minutes to perform a ritual and kick off Detect Magic.
I'm going to go outside of the tent and... I mean, disbelief. I don't feel the link anymore. I know he's not there, but I'm still going to go look.
I will follow.
Okay. As you step towards the opening, you notice that you have just entered.
Okay, I'll turn to the stranger on the stands and say, we are unable to leave this place.
Uh, I kind of look a little perturbed that I was interrupted. What? You just walk, step, out you go?
Try it.
No?
No.
I will walk again.
What do I see as he attempts to leave?
A really slight shimmer, and then they just reappear in the place that they tried to leave.
Oh. I wonder if that's the illusionary magic. Interesting. Most interesting.
Is this rune etched? Is it painted? Is it...
Well, it's not etched so much as set. Think of it as etched in the weave. Yes.
magical?
Well, of course. But you can't leave at all, you say? Well,
No.
perhaps that means the show's about to start. Could be a secondary safety feature for whatever may or may not get through the inner circle. I point at the, draw my fingers in a semi-arc for the inner protections. If,
I would like to pull a... I will pull a python. No, pythons aren't tiny. I will pick up a small, tiny object that's around me. If there is one. Is there a tiny object around?
Yeah.
Cool. I will pick up said tiny object, and I would like to use magical tinkering.
Okay.
And cause this object to emit a loud chirping sound.
Okay. So, what will you do with it other than that?
I want to throw it through the door.
Okay.
It's perceivable up to 10 feet away. So
Okay. Got it.
I want to see if I can hear it still.
So you toss whatever this object is. Maybe it's a pebble. Maybe it's some debris. Whatever it is, you throw it through the doorway. And you notice it disappears. And the sound also disappears.
But it doesn't come back.
No.
Well, we've learned something.
Perhaps that's why your golem couldn't come through. If it's inanimate, well, metal, non-organic, perhaps that's the better word. Maybe it's unaffected by the illusion.
My thoughts as well.
Well, perhaps we are all detained until the end of the show?
I guess. I'll be right next to you, Oliver. And you, what is your name?
Chazron Liadron.
Nice to meet you, Chazron Liadron. I am Daedra Silverstalker.
Well met, Daedra. Please, come and join me. I am saving one seat for another young acquaintance of mine. Hopefully she will show up soon.
Go ahead, Wilbur.
I was just going to look around. There are other people in here besides us, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are they doing?
They are sitting and just staring at the stage.
They're not talking, they're not interacting?
Nope.
I want to go poke one of them.
Okay. So left or right?
We'll choose my right.
Okay.
That way.
All right. So as you're contemplating that, Skugmoe.
Oh, do I see Cassandra anywhere?
No, but you can smell her perfume.
Hmm.
At least you
Well,
think it is.
Well, she must be nearby. I take a look at the Bugbearian and the Dwarf standing by the bones of the dragon, and I try to determine what's going on with them. So I'll go talk to the Dwarf.
Okay. As you walk towards them, the smell of her scent that she normally wears is getting fainter.
I'm not happy about this, that I cannot find her. And that funny guy Chaz has wandered off too. Now I have 2 friends to find. But I want to talk to this dwarf.
You did notice a shiny dog that was sitting in the doorway.
Oh,
And as you walk over to Amber, you notice a little pebble exiting the tent, and it kind of lands on the ground near the sign, and you hear this chirping sound.
Most unusual. Do I see the metal dog?
Yeah, he's standing in the doorway of the tent.
Oh, maybe I talk to metal dog later. Hello, dwarf.
Hi there. My name is Amber Frostbeard. What's your name?
Hi, Mo.
Nice to meet you. Yay, you know what? I greet him in Goblin.
Oh.
Oh, you'll speak. You'll speak my tongue. So you'll capture? And I point at the Bugbearian.
He's actually my friend, but we have to have him look like I've got him captured. He's quite friendly, actually. And then I look over at Ren and introduce him to Skugmoe in our language that we can communicate in, because he doesn't speak Goblin.
Well,
Ren stands perfectly still as if he's a tree and acts like this goblin can't see him, but he's getting a little bit more nervous. So he kind of reaches down just from his kind of vest and he with his teeth, and he pulls out a pipe that he has that blows bubbles. And he starts slowly blowing some bubbles because he's nervous.
As you're doing that, you notice there's a strange chirping sound. It kind of hurts your ears. It comes from the tent. And it's one of those things where it's kind of distracting a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice that silver mechanical looking dog, which you probably think is
scary.
Kind of, yeah. It's kind of foreign to you. And you see a shape along the ground in front of the tent, and it is that of a crescent moon.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, in that case, since I see that, and that would appear to be a sign to Ren, I kind of whisper and grunt to Amber, and then I start gently pulling toward to for her to go toward where this moon is.
Okay, I will go in that direction.
Hey, Ren. So you stop at the point where you saw the moon, and as you get closer, the moon disappears, although there is a glow coming from inside the tent. And you can hear sound emanating from the tent, and you can hear the chirping of that rock that's right at your feet.
All right, Ren's going to stop blowing the bubbles because he's a little comforted by the moon. I'm going to tentatively, but slowly, because I don't want to, I try to not be seen. I'm going to pick up the rock.
Okay. As you pick it up, the sound starts to dissipate. And eventually it goes away after a couple rounds.
I examine the rock. What do I see anything at all?
Well, I don't think you see anything other than some shadows coming from the tent.
All right. I mean, as far as the rock itself.
The rock is sort of like a small pebble. It doesn't seem to have a lot of significance. And you're kind of confused, like, what?
All right. I'm going to just kind of, put it in my pouch.
Okay.
Maybe look at it later, and I'll end my turn.
Okay.
I'm gonna go poke one of these boys, or girls, or peoples.
You put your hand out and you try to touch one, and you notice that your hand goes right through. As if it was a spirit.
Delightful. Ah, very insightful of you. I didn't even think of that. That would explain so much. Everybody in here must be an illusion.
I don't like this.
I actually reach down now and I poke Wilbur. Boop. Oh,
Ow.
You are not part of the show. Ah, excellent.
No, I'm a person. A short one, but still a person. Well, the furniture's real.
Well, it feels like I'm sitting on a bench.
I would like to go and examine the stage.
Okay. Cross the powdered line, and you can feel a breeze kicking up around the edge of the stage. A very subtle breeze.
Can I step back on the opposite side of the circle?
Yes.
Okay.
Nothing happens or changes other than the fact that you don't feel that breeze.
There's a slight breeze inside the circle. No idea where it's coming from.
Well, I deduced earlier that there's probably a portal over on the other side of the circle, and the illusion is probably masking it. I'm guessing if you wandered too far into the center of that circle, that you probably would find the source of that breeze. Although, I would not suggest it right now. Who knows where we go?
What do you think would happen if we broke the circle?
Well, it's a circle of protection. I suspect that whatever it's trying to protect, either us from them or them from us, would no longer be sustained. I would advise against it. Especially since we seem to be trapped within here.
I don't like being trapped. But I guess if they wanted a captive audience, then I guess they got it.
Well, at least 3 of us, and I look around actively, trying to see if I see anybody else move.
Not really. Although you do notice that the lights are getting dimmer in the tent.
Yes, seems like just the 3 of us. Hopefully more come in.
Hopefully, Daedra, be on watch. This is not good.
I'm going to stay by the door, or Daedra will stay by the door to make sure that if anyone else enters, she can try to warn them. She's not sure if they can leave, but she would try to advise them to do that. And she moves over so she can be protective of both our newly met friend and also Wilbur.
Okay. So you are standing there at attention, probably blades drawn.
Oh yeah, definitely blades drawn. Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't trust this. This is not natural. I want to be back in my wood.
Yeah, you guys notice the sword that's on the stage. It starts to move on its own and kind of spin slowly. Some of the tables and the items slightly move on their own on the stage, as if they're being manipulated or pushed or moved.
Did I have time to finish my ritual or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I call out from where I am, out of the tent, to say, help! Wait, no, don't come in here. But help, but don't come in here.
You yell out, and as far as you know, you're looking outside, but you don't see anybody in the doorway.
Just a big old tree.
No, she doesn't even see that.
Oh, because the tent is closed, correct?
No, it's open.
Oh, because they're in a different place. Okay. Since it's my turn, did I hear Daedra's warning?
No.
Well, I've seen all these people go in, and I'm wondering what the heck is going on, because Amber is a curious little dwarf, so she is going to move over here and move up here and enter the building. How about that? And I see 3 other people. Well, okay, I'm going to guess I see those people that are not really there, but I don't know that they're not really there. So I see the 3 people that I seen them enter. So that's familiar to me. Plus some other people that are sitting on the benches and stuff. And I'm going to ask Daedra, hey, what's going on in here? Anything interesting?
So,
So
to you, when she walked in, Daedra, it looked normal, completely normal.
Huh. Well, Daedra will turn to Amber. Actually, she doesn't turn because she was facing that way.
Mm-hmm.
Amber, you notice that Daedra has 2 short swords out and is looking kind of alarmed. And then she says, but I said, don't come in, find a way to help, but stay outside. Why are you here? Now you cannot leave.
I can't? Oh, I didn't hear any warning at all. I just was coming in the building because I seen everybody go in and I was wondering what was going on.
It's a trap.
Is Admiral Akbar here?
Who? No, just a new friend Chaz and my friend Wilbur over there. The rest of these people are apparently not really here.
They're not? That's odd. So you're saying that I'm stuck in here? I can't leave? Can I try to leave? I probably can't because I'm out of movement right.
Well, even if you did, it feels like you're moving outside. But one thing you did notice is that it was a nice cool breeze outside, and inside the tent was a little bit dark and stuffier. And when you turned around to look outside, you didn't feel the cool air.
Plus, can I smell the ozone? I'm gonna guess I probably can.
Go ahead and roll a perception, please.
Okay.
You're not sure what it is, but you do sense an overwhelming feeling of power coming from around you and from the tent, although you don't have any idea what type of magic it is. But you understand now that something is different and that something isn't quite right. So your sense of caution goes up.
Yeah, good old dwarven curiosity. I should not have come in the room, but now it looks as if I'm stuck in here. Can I see that you said stuff was moving on the stage? Can I see that happen?
Yeah, the light is dimming, and you notice that the objects on the stage are kind of moving slightly, and they're not being guided by anyone visible, and you're unsure why why that stuff is moving the way it is.
Okay, well, I don't see anything else that I can interact with, and I can't make any more movement, so I'm going to pass my turn to the next person.
Okay.
Whee! Isn't she tied up somewhere, or is she here?
Yeah, she's not on there. Okay, Chaz. So you have completed your ritual, and you notice the entire place glows with a very powerful magic. And as you suspected, there is some ancient magic at work here that you're not accustomed to dealing with. But then there's also some very hallucinatory illusion going on as well. And you're able to see the magic that is gathering around the stage and around the fake people that you suspected were probably illusions. And you see a very powerful magic in the doorway as well.
The back
The
entrance
back
of the tent, or
the
the
back
front?
and the front.
Okay. Well, I'm just kind of out loud. Interesting. So interesting.
You feel that you are no longer in Faerun. You already have made up your mind that you have traveled. Now, you haven't said anything, but you get that impression.
Okay. I just out loud mumble, still not ruling out extraplanar. Interesting. And I keep watching.
Okay. Daedra, you're still standing there. You're wondering why the dumb dwarf came through the door, or the unfortunate dwarf. And you're still standing at attention with your blades out. And you hear the noise coming from the stage.
Okay, Daedra will turn from Amber and look at the stage, but say over her shoulder, "Did you by any chance see a dog outside? My friend is missing his dog."
You did see it, Amber, just standing right in the front of the doorway. But now that she mentioned it, you don't see the dog anymore.
So the dog is sitting outside, right? Outside the tent?
Yeah, but it looked like
Okay.
a short time ago that he was in the tent. But he's not. So,
Okay.
or at least they don't think he is.
So Amber will reply, "Yes, I did see a dog, but it doesn't seem to be there anymore," as I looked in that direction.
You're kind of getting confused, like, what is going on here?
But the dog was intact. It was healthy, okay?
Yeah, it was just sitting there.
Wilbur, did you hear that? Your dog is okay. He's just outside the tent.
Good, wonderful. Means I don't have to make him again. That's the fantastic part. Now we just gotta figure out how to get out.
Did you just catch that he made that dog?
I did catch that, yes.
Okay. Just curious. So anything else, Daedra?
I am going to actually move forward.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to do it, so it's not going diagonal. Is diagonal okay?
Yeah, you can move diagonal, just not through objects. So you can just pick it up and drag it again. There you go. You can do that.
Yeah, to do waypoints, just drag to the first spot and then grab the end.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Okay, I would like to move to there to get a better look, but still being on the outside of the circle. Do I see any movement coming from the tent or anything in this area that is unsettling?
Not really. There looks like a bunch of stuff, like I don't know, like pots and rope and some crates. There's like a little chest here. There looks like there is some rings, those two big beach ball looking things. It looks like a circus gear kind of stuff.
I would like to take the rings and throw them, see if I could throw them onto the stage.
Okay. So you pick up the rings. How do you do it? Like, do you pick it up with your blade, or do you put one of your blades away and grab it with your hand, or how do you do it?
I will sheathe one blade
Mm-hmm.
and pick them both up with the other blade.
Mm-hmm.
And then with my hand, fling them from my blade onto the stage.
Okay. So you flick both of them. Can I have you roll a dexterity check, please? And you can do it right from the sheet on your actions tab. Up on top, you have a. There you go. So very expertly, you flick their blade, and they land very abruptly against something that you cannot see, and then they fall to the ground on the stage. So they hit something somewhat solid, and you're not sure what, but you don't see anything. You just heard it hit as if it hit a wall, and then it fell, a few feet down and landed on the stage.
At what point on the stage did it seem to hit something solid and fall?
Dead center.
I will call out to everyone else. Did you see that? Did you see that? And I will pass my turn along.
Do I see an outline of what was hit? Like a magical outline?
Not really. You just noticed that you heard it hit, and you weren't sure what exactly it was, but it sounded like clacking sound when it hit. And then the rings themselves, when they fell, they didn't drop like a rock. They kind of spun a little bit, and you know how a penny settles when it's being spun on a table?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how they landed, the rings, and then they finally settle. So it's almost like when she hit it, it spun the rings, and they ended up kind of settling on the stage, as if whatever it was moving. So
Okay, so could be a natural wall of air, or not necessarily anything invisible, which should appear with a magical aura.
And as you say that, you're reasoning that, that logic. You do notice the shape or the outline of some sort of form or being in the center of the stage. And the rest of you kind of see it too, but not as clearly. Because he kind of had like a detect magic spell, and the rest of you can see kind of a whirling, kind of like a form of wind. And you can, Chaz, you can actually see a kind of a slightly humanoid shaped bit of air. Would you roll a Arcana check, please?
I suspect an air elemental.
That's it.
Hmm.
You exactly expect that.
So I call out to Daedra.
And a fairly powerful one.
And a rather large air elemental. Please don't do that again.
Does it look angry?
I can't tell.
It's kind of moving around in circles, and from its presence, it's causing those items on the stage to kind of vibrate and move. So it's kind of spinning in a way, like not like a tornado, but it's kind of going in tight circles around the stage. It almost looks like it can't go anywhere else, like it's stuck there. So the circle that it's forming is about like that.
It looks trapped.
Well, I hope so. That's what the protection circle's for. Keep it from us and us from it.
Hannah, you're kind of amazed, like Hannah. Amber, you are amazed by what's going on. You're confused.
I am. I'm very confused.
So Skugmoe, you're outside of the tent, and you notice the Bugbear kneel down and pick up this rock.
Okay.
You're still kind of wondering about the dinosaur bones. but
Mo
not enough
Mo
to.
hungry. No meat on bones. No, I'm kind of sad that I can't find Cassandra anywhere. And I was trying to talk to a dwarf, but rudely decided to leave me and go into a tent. And leave me with a scary bugbear who is the oddest scary bugbear I've ever seen. I see this sign outside the tent. I'm not very good with languages, but can I make anything out from it?
The tent where Ren is standing.
Exactly.
Okay. You'd have to move a little closer.
Trying.
So the big tree is kind of in your way, but from what you can see, it's written in common. Go ahead and make an intelligence check. All right, you've seen
Sorry,
and
the
recognize. It's okay. You've seen and recognized the words, and you imagine that it is an invitation of some sort. You get the impression that says, "Come on in." It's kind of strange. You noticed a kind of a goblin-like symbol that permeates the sign itself. You're looking at it, you see this common script, and then all of a sudden you see this goblin script, and it says, "The greatest show on earth. Come on in." Right
Someone
before
made
you.
a translation on the sign.
Well, to him that's what it looks like. Like at one time he was struggling with the common, and then the what you call it, the actual
Runes.
yeah, the runes on it became more goblinoid.
Well, no one out here except for scary Bugbearian. Uh,
Okay. So you crawl right through his legs,
yeah.
and Ren, you feel like this little being like going in between your legs, right underneath, and into the tent, and disappear into the darkness. So good old Skugmoe. You see some people in here. You are looking at the stage. You see Daedra off in the distance in the dim light, and it is kind of getting a little breezy where you're standing, and you kind of catch the glimpse of some kind of form that's taking shape in the center of the stage, kind of moving around in a circular motion, like it's flying or something.
Great show on Earth. I will.
And you recognize
to
some of the,
Kaz.
yeah.
I see that he's got a gnome sitting next to him, so I will go. I haven't met the gnome yet, so I'll go sit with the.
Okay. So you kind of take your seat there, and you're probably kind of fixed on them and what's going on the stage. You do notice other individuals, but they don't seem to acknowledge you.
Yep. If Skugmoe and I cross eyes, I kind of give him a polite nod, and then I furrow my brow and just mouth the word "Cass" and hold my hands out like, "Do you know?"
Skugmoe, seeing that, would frown a little bit because he's worried about Cass and he hasn't seen her. But he'll just frown. He's not going to say anything. And then he will look at Wilbur and say, "Hi, I'm Mo. Great."
The name's Wilbur, friend. Mo, I guess you're trapped in here with us now too.
Trap?
There's no way out. We tried walking out the door. And we were brought right back in. Seems we're the captive audience.
Oh. Perhaps watch show, then can leave.
Probably don't have much of a choice anymore.
Okay, do I see, does Ren see, what does he see when he looks in?
You see a dim light. You see shadows. You smell a funny smell, and you're wondering if the light is from the moonlight. And you notice that little goblin ran in, or kind of darted in, and some of the other people that you had saw earlier are in there. The sign means very little to you, other than its written form. But as
Yeah.
you look at it, every
Yeah, I
symbol,
can't even read.
right? But every symbol on the sign turns into that of the moon
Oh my gosh.
before
Now
your
I'm really-
eyes.
is really getting scared now. So he goes, hammer, hammer. Is my rope still tied to her?
Nope.
I mean, it's now just a loose rope.
Yep.
Oh, he's very panicked. He starts blowing on his pipe the bubbles a little bit faster.
The bubble pipe.
He goes in as he's saying hammer, and he goes inside. One other little thing, he has the ability lingering magic,
Mm-hmm.
which basically when he goes in there and sees amber, he can use that, and it basically glows a corresponding color to the school of magic that's detected.
Ah.
Maybe he can use that and glow, and you can pick the color as to what it is, but maybe amber can
Today is
discern
pink,
that it-
and pink might mean something like illusion.
okay, maybe since I can't really tell, I don't have illusion in my vocabulary, maybe amber can try to figure it out.
Okay. So you moved inside.
Yeah, I move inside because I want to protect amber, and I'm going to sit there and get back into my tree stance and just observe and see what Ren sees.
Okay. You notice in the very center of the stage that there are some objects kind of moving around. You see the faint outline of some sort of flying entity or spirit or creature. You're not sure what it is, but you know it isn't good. Or at least it doesn't look safe. And you see Daedra off in the dim light poking around in the corner, looking at stuff. And then to your right, you notice some of the other people that you had saw earlier taking maybe a rest, or you're not sure what they're doing and why they're here, but you don't see anything to do with the moon anymore. And as a matter of fact, it's a little bit dimmer in here than you would imagine.
Ren is going to stash his pipe back into his fur.
Okay.
He's going to toss the loose shackles down at Amber's feet, and he's going to get a good grip on his maul with a readied action in case somebody were to come after him or Amber.
Okay. So
And
go
he'll
ahead
end
and
his turn.
click that for ready action. Okay, Wilbur.
Well, if we're going to watch, nothing to do but wait.
Okay. So are you kind of saying that out loud?
Yes.
Okay. Well, just gonna wait. Or you got your arms folded in disgust.
Yeah, and I have my weapon on my lap as well. So there is a flail on my lap.
Okay. Yeah, you're a little bit perturbed.
To say the least.
Okay. Amber.
Now, what exactly was turning pink? Was I turning pink? I didn't really understand the lingering magic.
Yeah, you just know it's something strange.
Do I know that it was illusionary? Because that's I'm guessing somehow we know what different colors mean.
Well, you have to assign it at this point. So it was a pinkish outline or a magical, lingering magical signature. So whatever is going on here is that color. So you know there's some magical stuff going on.
Well, I think I will also ready my warhammer in case something dangerous attacks any of the people that I can't say we're a party yet, but people that I saw come in the room, so I'm going to guess we're a group. Okay, let's say it's a group. Attacks us, I will, and it's near enough to me in melee range, I will attack it back with my warhammer, and that will be my action. Or my...
Right.
Yeah, it's my action. Ready.
Roll a perception, please.
Okay, before I do that, I think I will see what's going on first.
Okay. So you're looking around. You see Daedra poking around off to the side. You look at the stage and notice that the objects are slightly moving. You see the outline of some sort of being or form moving around the stage. And as that's happening, you notice a chalky white substance that is in a circle around the stage. And with each passing of the form or whatever it is that's moving in the center, I don't know if you actually heard Chaz's discovery. Did you say that out loud, Chaz?
She wasn't in the room by then.
Okay. Nonetheless, the circle is kind of blowing away. It was fairly thick, kind of, and noticeable, but now it is thinned out. It's still a circle, but it's very thin.
Who sees that?
She does, and the rest of you too.
All right. Okay.
So
And
you did
yeah,
what?
I
You ready?
Yeah, I ready just in case something comes within melee range. If
Okay.
that thing blows away, maybe that thing will be coming in melee range, whatever it is.
Okay.
And I'll pass.
Okay. Okay. So right as you guys realize what's happening, the protective circle weakens, and this large air elemental looking thing emerges as Chaz had warned, and it appears to be moving in a wider circle now. So this circle here is now out to there. So it is basically moving or hovering, and it moves here, and then it moves like here, and then here. So it's basically moving in a kind of a fast circle. And it appears to be eroding the protective powder or the circle on the ground. So it appears to be having some sort of mission. So Chaz, immediately you notice this.
Okay.
So you immediately notice that it's basically blowing away the magical circle.
Right. So at this point, I will call out to everybody that it's gonna break through. Gather around, and then I'm gonna attempt to call out to the air elemental in its speech, and just gosh, I'm trying to think.
What do you want to say to it?
I'll just say, we mean you no harm.
Okay.
Are you trapped? I guess that's all I'll say.
Okay.
Mean you no harm, and are you trapped? Yep.
As it's circling, it says, "You mortals are the reason I am here. I am trapped forever in this place. My goal and job is to make sure you never leave. You will suffer, and as I have."
So I back up a little bit higher in the stands, and I'll shout out to everybody else. This is the last thing for my turn. No, it's in primordial. Now in common, I'll let everybody else know. It seems to be trapped and has a vendetta. It's going to attack us as soon as it breaks free. Daedra, you may want to get closer.
When Chaz spoke to this creature, this gust of wind came bursting from his lungs, and he was like shouting. It was like it didn't sound like something normal, like words. It's almost like he hissed or made like some kind of really harsh, kind of like a breathing thing. And the thing or the creature, whatever it is, that's circling around, had answered back in kind. And it appears to be trying to erode the circle around the protective circle. So Daedra, Chaz just kind of called out to you to be careful.
He said, "Get closer." Get closer to who? It? You? Where should I go? And she will move.
Okay. Where would you like to move? Okay.
Nope, not done. Sorry. Unless
Okay.
there's something that happens.
Okay. No, go ahead. Move.
Okay, can I get to there?
Yep.
And I will draw my other short sword.
Okay. When you went past, you felt the breeze pick up. Actually, your hair was blown aside as it moved, and you moved beside it. You felt this very powerful gust of air, almost like you stuck your head out of the window of a car, and also you got a blast of gust of wind. You felt its power.
And did it feel stronger than?
Yeah,
A
it moved your.
troll?
Yeah, kind of. It moved your skin. Like, you know what I mean? Like the skin on the back of your neck and your hair. Your hair's all messed up and wispy now. Blew your hood off your head.
Oh, and everyone can see my burns.
Mm-hmm.
Wilbur, I'll make my way over to you as soon as I can. Just sit tight. You have new friends. Hopefully they will help.
Well, if they don't help, none of us are getting out of here.
So, anything else, Daedra?
No.
Are you readying anything, or are you just kind of?
Am I able to ready? I moved and drew a weapon. Can I still
Yep.
ready?
Yeah. So the
Oh, then
ready
I will
would
ready.
be a declaration of what you will do if a certain thing happens.
Okay, if the air elemental approaches and is within striking distance, I will attack.
Okay. Mo, you feel the air picking up, and you're starting to cough on the little dust that's being worked up, and you notice the white chalky stuff moving all over the floor. And since you're the lowest to the floor, you're getting the dust.
I will poke Wilbur just gently on the arm with my finger, and I'm sitting on what I believe is like high school bleachers, so there's
Yeah.
like gaps between them, right?
Yeah. There's little slots.
I'm pretty small. I'm gonna try to actually go below the bleachers.
Okay. So go ahead and move, or are you just going to duck under where you're sitting?
Oh, just under where I'm sitting. I'm going
Okay.
to go under the bleachers right where I'm sitting.
All right. Well, are you trying to be quiet and stealthy, or are you just going to do it?
Well, I poked at Wilbur to kind of give him the impression of what I'm doing, but other than that, I'm going to do it in a stealthy.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your stealth. Okay. So you move under the bench, and you are basically under where there's probably about 2 feet of space under there, maybe 2.5 feet at the most. And you notice all sorts of variety of things in here. Bunch of shinies down here. You've kind of come across a little bit of a, I wouldn't say treasure, but to you, I mean, it looks like a bunch of stuff that people dropped.
Oh.
Like coins, trinkets, perhaps some food, old popcorn and apple cores, and rats and mice and droppings, and you feel right at home.
Awesome. I'm going to thus take the hide action now, and I will think about collecting some bits of effluvia once any kind of weird danger is passed.
Okay. Okay, Ren. Your red flag is raising. You sense the urgency and the panic that is starting to set in a little bit. And you notice people drawing their weapons and moving away from the wind. And the fur on your back blows your stench all around the tent. But the worst part of it is the dust and the sound of the wind as it starts to swirl around the stage. And you sense the exchange between the wizard or the magic user and the elemental creature or whatever it is that's swirling around. You've never come across one of these things before, but you realize it is a force of nature, and that the guy or the wizard or the person who spoke to it must have a handle on it, or must understand it more than you do.
To see if I sense the windy thing as evil, or
You're not sure.
Malintent.
Yeah, malintent would be the impression.
Okay. All right.
Not so much evil, but malintent. Yes.
Okay.
Not nice.
All right. Well, if he thinks it's might harm Amber, he's gonna run in there.
Okay. So for right now, he's just readying himself for any danger.
Yep. If he senses a threat to Amber, or that it's within striking distance, he's going to go after it.
Okay. That's fine. So go ahead and put your ready action on again, just in case.
And I'll end my turn.
Okay. Wilbur.
Oh,
You notice
Wilbur.
the dust is blowing away. You know that's a protective circle. It's just a matter of time before this thing gets out. And you've listened to Chaz's warnings, so.
Yeah. Wilbur is going to stand. He will bring his shield to the ready, and he'll say, "Well, why do people have to do things like this?" And he will stand and use the ready action to attack it if it comes near with his flail.
Okay. So go ahead and put the ready action on. Okay, Amber. You notice people raising shields and drawing weapons, and you sense the apprehension from your new friend Ren. He seems to be standing near you protectively.
Okay, I'm gonna also ready my Warhammer once more if the being comes within melee range and makes an aggressive action towards us. So we've already wait, did we hear? Oh no, we didn't hear what it said. We just heard like whooshing air, right? So
Yeah.
we don't know what its intent is, but it seems agitated.
Right.
So I would assume that it was going to maybe attack one of us, and if it does, I will, and it's within melee range, I will attack it with my Warhammer, and
Okay.
I will end my turn after that.
Yeah, you did hear Chaz say that this thing is agitated and it's breaking loose.
Okay. I wasn't sure if we just heard the whooshing. And
you did hear the whooshing, but right after that in common, he warned everybody.
Okay, great. Okay, readied my action, and I passed my...
Okay. So, this thing, it's moving out further. And as the dust starts to move, it too also moves, and as it comes by, it moves to attack, looks like Amber and Ren, since they're the closest. So with that in mind, you guys can take your... Anybody who has a reaction, a ready thing, can do something.
Okay, so we
Provided
get to do
you're
it before
close
the
enough.
thing hits us.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. So immediately you flick your hammer towards it, and the sheer force of your hammer meets up with the force of air. It's such a strange sight. But where your hammer hits, it makes this hissing kind of thud sound, and you can hear this wailing wind come from the elemental.
But I did some damage, so
Yep.
I'm happy.
Ren also swings his large club-like weapon. And it hisses as it goes by. You can hear it go. Tree mall. So it lashes out. It just basically directs two large wall of wind, but concentrated. So Amber, you feel this rush of wind bounce off your shield and nearly knock you on your butt, but you're able to maintain your balance since you're so squat and close to the ground.
I think it went over my head.
Yeah, basically the shield kind of directed it over you. The second attack swipes towards Ren. And Ren, you are hit square in the chest. And you have never been hit like this before. And you feel this sudden bruising. And you feel your chest cave in a little bit. And it feels like you've lost your breath momentarily. So you kind of got the wind knocked out of you, so to speak. But it hasn't done anything to you other than superficial shock, basically.
Okay.
And it passes by and does those attacks. It moves. So it's almost made a complete circle by the time its turn is over. So Chaz? You saw that this thing is pretty powerful. It just walloped that bugbear and try to take a swat at the dwarven healer.
Yeah, that's a problem. I don't know what else we can do, but I'm high enough up I can see over the top of the bugbear. So I will just throw some fire at it.
Okay.
Oof. So in Elvish, I kind of speak some runes and call out for fire and throw a bolt at it.
All right.
But I do not hit. It gets cast away in the violent winds surrounding it.
Mm-hmm. Kind of fizzles out in the background.
Yep.
Luckily, it doesn't set anything on fire. Daedra.
Okay, I would like to jump over the bleachers, make my way across the entryway, and hop up between where Ren is and Wilbur.
Okay. Can you please do an athletics check for me? You can do it in the open if you want. You jump across, you barely make it. You end up jumping and landing on top of the railing. So you need to make a dexterity save. You can do that on your sheet there in the back. There's a save thing. Okay. So you recover quite nicely. So go ahead and move your token to where you'd like it to be.
Okay.
Okay. So you settle there.
Play 5 more feet.
Okay.
And then I want to ready a combat action.
Okay. So I'm assuming if it comes by, you're going to thump it.
If it goes to attack Ren and I can reach it, I will try to attack it.
Okay. Okay, Skugmoe. As your eyes adjust to the darkness and the dim underside of the bleachers, you notice all varieties of low-valued coins, old food, rotten food, somebody's sock, and hey, you're thinking, wow, that might be a way to put stuff in. You might be able to actually throw the coins in that old sock. Might make it easier to collect things. And then you hear the telltale signs of battle ahead. So you realize that you have to make a choice between collecting the trinkets and the shinies, or potentially seeing if you can help your friends, or your new friends, or your friends of your friend.
Well, I figure that there's time to collect coins later. What I like to do is take my cunning action to hide and then shoot my crossbow at the
Okay. Nice. So you just pop out for a moment, click. You guys see this bolt like shoot across, and it slams into the earth or the air elemental, and does quite a bit of damage. It actually ends up piercing through its form. Even though it travels through, it does a lot of damage. So it's a good going.
Cool. Then I'm going to back up to where there's a little more room for me to.
Okay. So you're
And
further back.
Mm-hmm.
Can you roll a stealth check, please? Okay. Thank you.
And that's all for me.
All right. Ren.
All right. Ren is going to rush into the to this destructive wind where I indicated.
I need you to make an athletics check, because you're basically going to run over, leap over a bunch of stuff to avoid rough terrain. Because you're going to be going up surfaces. So you just kind of plant your feet and start moving, and you just basically jump over half of that stuff on the stage.
Awesome. All right, and then I think I've been wounded enough and am concerned enough that I am going to rage.
All right. So the heat of the battle and the wound that you received had shocked you into a raging anger.
Then that's going to trigger my wild surge.
Okay. Wow. A beam of brilliant light lances from your chest in a 5-foot wide, 60-foot long line. Each creature in the line must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take radiant damage and be blinded until the start of your turn. Okay. So,
It's going to be pointed to the south there.
okay. So straight across. No one's in the path but the air elemental. So go ahead and roll 2d8. I'll just manually add the damage to it. Nice.
Then I'm going to swing with my maul.
All right. So you guys see this beam of light burst from the Bugbearian and pierce through the air elemental.
I was going to say he would get advantage on that, but he didn't need it. Because the thing is blinded, right?
It can't be blinded.
Yeah.
Really.
Darn.
Well, it doesn't say that though. So maybe
All right,
it can
I'm
be.
gonna end my turn.
Okay. So maybe it can be blinded. So
I think if it doesn't say that it can't be blinded, that it can be blinded.
Well, I'm gonna blind it.
Yeah, I mean, if it has like True Sight or Tremor Sense or Blind Sight, then it.
Yeah, I agree.
It can't, but
it doesn't. So it is blinded by the light.
By
Okie dokies.
Wilbur?
So, Wilbur will reach into like a small pouch on his belt, and he's going to pull out a very small device that looks sort of like a hand crossbow, but has a little antenna on it. And he's going to point it. Are these like coffee cups that are sitting around here?
Yes.
Cool. He's going to point it towards one of these coffee mugs over here.
Okay.
Specifically that one. And the coffee mug is going to levitate and shoot towards the air elemental, and I'm going to cast Catapult.
Okay. Cool. I like it. Nice. So you flick this thing.
Except it's saved.
Yeah. Well, you flicked it towards there, and it just kind of deflected off of the wind. But it was a nice try.
You can't get advantage on your spell?
Well, he's blinded.
No, but I mean, maybe if he got advantage on a spell, he wouldn't get his dex thing? Oh, well, never mind. It's my turn! Okay, Amber is really mad that this thing is hurt her friend Ren. So, but the first thing she's going to cast Toll the Dead.
Okay.
Which is a cantrip. And it failed. Yay! And it's damage, so 1d12 necrotic.
Ouch.
Good. And then as a bonus action, I will cast Healing Word on Ren.
Okay.
And
great.
Wow, 4 whole hit points. Oh, well. Okay. Anyway, that's it. In my turn.
That was awesome. When she cast a spell, you guys notice a large dark void punch through the air elemental temporarily. So it looked like a hole opened up in it temporarily.
That's what the necrotic damage did to it.
Mm-hmm. That's what it looked like. Okay, so the air elemental pauses momentarily to engage Ren. So rather than slamming him, it has a whirlwind that it's going to employ. So it begins to spin in a circle like a little tornado and start to cause some crazy action here. So each creature in the elemental space must make a DC 13 saving throw. Okay, so I will roll that first. Okay. So you succeeded.
Yay.
On a failure, a target takes blah 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 damage, and you're flung 20 feet away and prone. If you strike a target, then you take more damage. If the target is thrown at another creature, blah blah blah. If the saving throw is successful, the target takes half of the damage and isn't flung away or knocked prone. So you're only going to take half damage, and you'll probably take less because you're raging. Yeah, so very good. So that was its attack, and it is going to move away from you. So you get a attack of opportunity. Oh, so that'll learn you not to turn your back on me, buddy. So you did a walloping 22 points of damage. Ouch.
Ren gives a rare woot when he when he connects.
Yeah, that thing. So you hurt that thing pretty bad. Okay, Chaz. It's like right close to you, kind of. It's
Alrighty.
within earshot for sure. And you can feel the gust of wind.
Well, looks like we're working it down, but it still seems to be pretty
lively.
What's the word? Yeah. No, I don't want to do that. You know, I think I'm just going to continue to throw another firebolt at it.
Okay. No sense in getting in harm's way.
No.
And this time, the flame catches and engulfs him temporarily. You see this like flame, kind of bluish yellow flame, kind of engulf it temporarily and fizzle. So you definitely heard it. Burnt away some of its oxygen. So that hurt. Okay, Daedra. You're right there.
Okay. I'm gonna use my bonus action to mark it.
Okay. Remember how to do it?
I think I just did it.
Okay.
And attacking. 2 quick jabs into the air. Feels strange, but let's give it a shot.
Okay.
So 2 hits.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Oh, there you go.
Wow. So
Awesome.
you kind of leap up and come down with a double chop on it, and you end up parting its form, and it dissolves into thin air, and all of the breeze and dust begins to settle. So whatever was driving this thing is no longer here. It is departed. It is no longer around.
Pull my cloak over my head and say, all right, how do we get out of here?
You're ready to go.
Well,
Wow.
we can try to leave through the entrance, but if we can't, then perhaps the only way out is through. And I point towards the opening in the back of the tent.
Did the ozone smell go away?
Kind of. It kind of blew away because of all the wind.
Yeah, Skugmoe is going to pick up the sock and start collecting bits
right.
of anything he might find valuable.
I'm going to make you a nice little parcel next time we meet.
Okay.
Let's see. So you're kind of scrounging around, and you're going to find more than just a few coins. You find, like I said, the sock, the rotten food, the stale popcorn, that sort of stuff. But then you're also going to find a little trinket amongst the refuse, and the trinket looks like a feather, a kind of a light blue feather.
Cool.
And I don't think you've ever seen the bird that where this feather had come from. So it's kind of a very, very odd thing to find, especially when you haven't seen anything like this around, at least not in these parts.
Maybe I show it to everyone later.
So you're scrambling around. Do you want to move? Do you want to come out? Do you want to stay down there? Do you want to say anything?
Seems like all the stuff is down here. I'll call out to Wilbur. It's like, hey, Wilbur, you can come down. Stop.
Okay, Ren, you are feeling a little bit better, that the danger is going away. You're starting to calm down. Your blood pressure is going down. Your heart rate is slowing. You're returning to your peaceful state, but you're not there yet.
All right. Well, I'm gonna resume my position, and I'm going to pull out my pipe.
Okay.
Slowly blow some bubbles and watch what goes on.
Okay. You feel quite safe here, actually.
Okay, I feel safe there.
Because you're in the dark and you're kind of against the wall.
Oh, okay.
So you're not in the open.
I'm going to pick up any of my precious little plants growing in my fur that may have been blown out or knocked out.
Okay.
As I move over toward Amber.
Okay.
And then I'll dutifully put my loose manacles back on.
Okay.
Now I'll have my turn.
Okay, Wilbur.
Yeah, question.
Sure.
Can I sense my can I sense Rufus?
Make a perception check, please. No. you don't feel that return.
Okay.
Although
Cool,
you
good to
do
know.
feel the sense of danger slowing down. You don't feel as restless or as nervous or high strung.
Good. Okay. Well, now that that's over, um, I want to go check what's behind that curtain on the stage.
Okay.
It's technically as far as I can get for my turn, but I'll take the dash action and go through.
Okay. So as you get to the doorway there, a strange man pokes his head through the curtains. He says, "Oh, no, you don't." And he's standing in front of you in the doorway. And he says, "Welcome, all of you. Welcome." So he tries to kind of push his way past you. And he says, "Welcome to my circus." He's got the Willy Wonka look to him. "I am Dilbus, and you are my latest friends. Welcome to my enchanted circus." And he kind of bows. And he says, "I apologize for the excitement. The air elemental wasn't supposed to escape." And he says, "Now, I guess I will have to find another. But that's it for a conversation for another time." He kind of says, "Come." And he's looking at you, Wilbur. "Come with me." He holds his hand out, like in friendship.
Maybe one shouldn't play with magics they don't understand.
He kind of looks a little bit offended. And he says, "Well, it seems that we're at an impasse." He says, "You're going to hold to me that I don't understand the magic that I have created here for this circus, the enchanted circus. Yet, alone, you have no way of knowing how to leave this place."
Well, if the air elemental wasn't supposed to escape, then why did it?
Let's just say it had a mind of its own. A disgruntled employee is what I would call that.
These creatures aren't employees.
Well, they are here.
Oh, do you pay them or do you enslave them?
And it all depends on how things shake down. If they play nice, they stay in comfort. They never want. They don't ever need anything. And they get to travel the world with me and never have to worry about wanting. Everything they need is here, or will be here, or has been. And now all of you are here in my enchanted circus. And he bows again, and he looks very weird, kind of has this kind of grayish hair that sticks straight up, uh, almost like he stuck his finger in a light socket. And he's got a receding hairline. It's almost getting bald on top. He looks a little bit frail, but he doesn't look weak by any means. He kind of looks wiry for an old gentleman. And he's wearing some elaborate robes. They look like purple and gold and white and silver, and he's got like all this bling. And he's got these Aladdin-looking shoes, and he has all these rings on his fingers. And he's carrying this staff-like thing next to him. And on the staff is a large crystal-like, how would I say, like a, I don't know, end piece that is in the shape of a magical sigil kind of look to it, that's suspending the crystal. The crystal is glowing slightly, and he seems to be a little bit amused, but a little bit annoyed at the same time. And he's kind of apologizing, but at the same time exerting his power.
What's the what aura of magic does the crystal glow with?
Good question. Why don't you just make an Arcana check first? And after that, you'll realize that it has a feel of illusion.
Okay.
So he's standing next to Wilbur on the stage. He's looking down at Wilbur and talking to him, conversing, all the while looking towards you guys and bowing and trying to maintain his composure and act friendly, or at least cordial, considering the situation that just happened.
Yeah. Since Ren is right next to me, I'm gonna do Cure Wounds.
Okay.
2nd level.
Okay.
There. All better. Well, mostly better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought I only took 15 damage, but her first heal didn't heal any from
It didn't?
me. Mm-mm.
That was like 4 points or something. Yeah, you're right. Because I just gave you 12. I think the other one was
Right.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the other one actually rolled actively.
I got rid of it.
Cool. All right.
So
Go ahead.
anyway, that's can I do a insight check or
You
can
were
I not
doing
because
your
I've already did
yeah. You're already
I did
doing
my
your
spell?
thing. Yeah.
Okay. Then I will end my
Okay. All right, Chaz.
So I'll approach, and then basically say, then, are we brought here for a purpose? I have no intention to become a new component of your menagerie.
Oh, come on. He says, don't you know this is the greatest show ever? Why would you not want to be a part of that?
I am an introvert by nature. This is not part of my plans.
Unfortunate. I can see you running an attraction of your own. You have great potential, yet what you have in potential, you lack in confidence. It's a shame.
So is the way out behind you?
You can certainly try. You may enter. There's nothing to hide back there.
I'll look over my others and see if they can Can they see? Yeah, just see if they can see out the main entrance. See if I can see out the main entrance, or is it just kind of hazy?
It's kind of hazy. Actually, it looks like it's getting dark outside. Although you can see some lights, but they're very dim.
Well, I guess I'll step to the side here, and then look back at the rest of the group and says, I don't know about the rest of them. Perhaps some of them wish to join you, but I do not. And if we all choose to not become part of your menagerie, what then? And I'll end my turn. It's a lot of talking.
He kind of looks indignant and he says, well, I don't think you'll be leaving anytime soon then. Since we can't come to an agreement of some sort, what about the rest of you?
Daedra will approach. She looks angrily at him, but also she kind of looks confused. And she says, you trapped that poor creature here, and now you have trapped us, and you are offering your hand? Like we should trust you. What is your intention with us? Speak plainly.
He goes to address you, turns to you and says, I love all of you. I want you all to stay with me. Help me with the circus. I'm always looking for new acts and new people to fill roles. I can't grow the circus without you.
You want us to be trapped like that creature?
Oh no. If you agree, you will not be trapped.
So you admit you are holding it against its will here?
Not until you got here.
What does that mean?
It means nothing was amiss until you stepped through that door.
This is the main entrance. Everyone steps through this door, do they not?
Not everyone, but those that do usually stay.
She narrows her eyes and says, what do we need to do to work with you so that we may be returned to the wilds around these areas for which we know?
Well, first of all, you must understand that where we are at this moment doesn't exist.
Now you are just speaking crazy.
Am I? And he
Yes.
he looks towards the people that were sitting, that supposedly were people, and he kind of waves his hand and they disappear. And you notice he has a large scar tattoo on his hand as he put his hand forward. I need you to roll a Arcana or history check. Same thing with Wilbur.
Arcana or history?
Yes.
Is it history that involves magic?
Yes.
Perfect. I would like to use my Artificer's lore skill to roll history then.
Okay. You recognize this symbol. It is the root symbol for illusion, and the root symbol is where most of the magic for illusion is derived. It is also a very ancient Netherese symbol. So either he's a Netherese lord, or he at one time worked with them.
So so this is like out of character knowledge here.
Mhm.
I personally know like a good fair amount about the Netherese Empire. Would Wilbur know anything about the Netherese Empire?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Yes, he would. He may not know everything, but he knows enough.
All right.
And even Chaz has dabbled in some of the Netherese studies.
So is he actually on the stage with Wilbur,
Good question.
or is he inside his tent?
Good question. What do you think?
What do I visually perceive him to be?
You visibly perceive him to be an ancient Netherese wizard. Wilbur, you see him as an ancient Netherese lord. And Daedra sees him as a pathetic old magic that needs a life. The
Nice.
rest of you perceive him as a frail, insecure, lonely individual. And I think at this point, I would like all of you to roll a perception check. Everybody. Okay. All of you rolled very poorly, except for Skugmoe and Amber. How did Cassandra roll?
She is on the table now.
She's underneath the bleachers there napping.
Oh, sorry. You stated it was everyone.
That would be a cast thing to do. Just like take a nap in the other side underneath the bleachers.
So,
Yes, Laerun, no worries. I'm just going to be listening in the sidelines for now.
okay. So Cassandra comes from behind the doorway.
Oh, sorry. I thought this was the bathroom.
So do you see the map, Cassandra?
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So you have just come out from behind that tent. You are sitting in a cafe, drinking from a wonderful glass of decadent wine, waiting for your friend Skugmoe and your friend Chaz. And next thing you know, yada, 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 you wake up in a strange place. And you had an invite to the circus. And you were curious. And when the guy handed you the flyer, you didn't realize that something strange may have happened after you accepted the flyer. But as she comes through the doorway, the image of the crazy circus lord dissipates. It's not like it disappears. It's almost like a hologram. And as she comes through the back way, his hologram kind of fades. And he says, "I will return." You can hear his voice from all around you.
Cass.
Ah!
Hello, guys.
That
Skugmoe runs up and hugs her leg because he's short.
are you an illusion too?
I'll pinch myself. I don't think so.
You always have the strangest knack. Still, I wonder what's back from where you came. And I'm going to move into this back tent if I can.
Okay. So go ahead and move.
Pardon me, Mr. Brightspark.
Yes. What is it?
So it looks like
As I
come to a room. One sec. Boy, I'm looking forward to Unity. Okay. So you enter a chamber that's like covered in all sorts of trinkets and interesting odds and ends.
about everything glowing magical.
Some things are, yes.
Anything look like a portal or a doorway?
No. You see this big steel sarcophagus?
Okay.
It's metal of some sort.
Is that the only thing that really dominates the room? Everything else looks just like knickknacks?
There's a strange bunch of chests and boxes and such. Some of them have a glow of magic. Some of them do not. You're not sure exactly what it is that's making the magic, but there's all varieties of enchantments on these items.
Okay. I'm going to just start looking around the room, a little investigation, see if I can find anything that would help us get out.
All right. So as you get closer to the wall, over to your right, you noticed a doorway. And it looks
Is it
like a mirror.
just
But
the one?
no, actually all around you. Each one of these looks like a mirror, and there's a slight glow. And from inside there, it's not reflecting back to you. So it makes it like, it looks like a mirror, but when you look through it, it's actually sort of doorway. So you suspect that there are some sort of portal-like things in here.
Okay, but I can't see it through the other side.
You can. Each one is different. You're not sure where they lead.
Okay, well, I'll tell everybody back that there looks like there's 5 portals. Not sure what's with the sarcophagus there, but perhaps somebody will recognize some of the terrain in one of these portals. And I will move to the closest one to me. And
so that room was about 20 by 20 feet. and you saw costumes, some like a weird peacock thing in here. It was in a cage, and there's some like stored items back in here. And one of the chests or something, the one in the far right, top right corner, had the Dwemer on it. And then the metal thing is the sarcophagus. It weighs a ton. It's really, really strange things in here. Yeah, there's a lot of strange stuff in here. There's an umbrella rack. It has 3 umbrellas in it, different colors. There's a wooden one, an ivory one, and a ruby one.
All magical or mundane?
Yes, magical.
Hmm.
And like I said, the large sarcophagus is
Okay,
probably the
well,
most enchanting.
Right now I'm just going to look through this portal, see what I can see on the other side.
Well, you notice that it looks like it goes to a different part of the circus. You recognize some of the scenery as if you could just walk out and go back outside.
Hmm.
But you're a little bit skeptical about it because of what you went through before.
All right. Well, I'll call back and say this might be the way out, and I'll look at Wilbur and say, perhaps you may have a different sense of things, since you seem fairly attuned with making magical items, assuming you're from your golem.
I have a little bit of a hand at it. Also, speaking of, I guess I can get to that on my turn though, since
Well, it is your turn.
technically.
Why not?
Oh, okay, cool. Looking back, like through the entrance that we originally came in,
Mm-hmm.
can I see Rufus?
No.
Okay, so it's still that basic illusion magic is still in place there.
You think so?
All right, cool.
Something is still holding you. At least it appears.
All right, I'm gonna take a step into the room and examine each of the portals and see if I can see Rufus through any of them.
No, but you do see some familiar scenery from earlier in the evening.
Well, looks like these lead to different parts of the circus. Maybe this is how he travels around, makes things seem a little bit more mystical than they are.
They're off to see the wizard.
Vibes.
Yeah,
The wonderful Wizard of Oz.
that's it. So each doorway has a unique scene. They kind of look like mirrors, but you can see light spilling forth through them as if they're looking outside.
By the way, what time of day is it now?
You wouldn't technically know. When you got here, it was early afternoon, so you're not sure now
Okay.
because you can't
Well,
see outside.
that helps.
Yeah. So you've been here at least an hour. Cass, do you have anything to say? If you look back to the way you came from, it is a doorway that leads into a room, which was not where you started from. and you were enamored by the circus.
Push to talk, maybe.
Yep. Push to talk, maybe? Are you here,
Well,
Cass?
Oh yeah, sorry. Hello.
Hello. Um,
Yes.
the room that Chaz entered and Wilbur does not look like the room that you had just come from. So you came through that doorway and stumbled on all your friends, and you're kind of confused. And you remember that you were in a like a tavern type situation, and after you drank some of the wine or whatever, you kind of lost focus or passed out or something happened to you. But you woke up and you walked out this door, and you don't feel like you're anywhere near where you were before. Feel a little bit confused.
Well, in situations like these, what I'm going to do right now is I go to the center of the stage and just began singing and playing my lute for you, all of you.
Okay. Can
I'll
you
just
do
do
a
a performance
performance?
check.
Yes.
All right, performance check. And should I roll publicly or dice tower?
You can do it publicly.
All right, rolling here on the message board.
Okay. So, in your kind of half inebriated state, you feel kind of confused and you're still waking up or whatever happened to you, not sure. But you know something magic is afoot. And as you play the song, you notice that the lighting in the tent changes with intensity. Um, it was very dim, and now it's starting to brighten up. And you realize that you are in a large circus tent. There is a high ceiling. See some signs of a struggle, and you notice a very faded outline of a magical circle on the stage on the outside of the stage.
All right, I relay this information to the group while I'm singing Humpty Dumpty in a very drunken state.
So they just went through an ordeal, but they don't understand why you didn't see or hear anything.
Now I think of it, where are we, guys?
As you say that, the note or the letter that you received earlier in town in Silverymoon falls to the ground. And it kind of triggers a memory of you receiving that letter.
Oh dear, I may have just gotten roofied.
Oh,
You pick up the letter. It's written in common, but it has the script of somebody that has the most beautiful writing you've ever seen. And it says, "The greatest show on earth, Dilbus's Enchanted Circus. Please visit and see all the sights." So it was kind of an invitation to go to the circus.
I see. Because of that, I picked it up using my +1 rapier and my lute, like a like a tongue or such.
Okay.
Hey, Skugmoe, is there anything else in this note? I like tongued the notes towards Skugmoe.
You
Okay.
give me the note. What do
I
I
don't
make of the
know.
note?
To you, it looks like a blank piece of paper with scribbling on it.
Oh, not much. Bad drawing.
Oh, in my case I see some very beautiful cursive here in common.
Ahem. Might I have a look at that?
Ah, sure thing, dear.
As you touch it and grab it and look at it, it looks like some elven script that you haven't seen in a while. You do recognize the font and you can read it. And it says, join the circus.
It says join the circus, not come see the
Well,
circus?
it basically come to the circus, yeah. It says the same thing,
Oh, okay.
Delvis's Enchanted Circus. It does mention work and that sort of thing.
It's an antiquated style of Elvish.
Mm-hmm. Something you haven't seen in many years. Since you were youthful.
Well, Skugmoe, is it? Cassandra? I'm seeing this in a very ancient elven script. It is basically like the note that I had found.
Intriguing. Perhaps this you stated the wizard or such that created the circus seems to be quite powerful.
Yes, unfortunately.
Laerun, if I look around, is this stadium or the tent that we're in currently like dusty or anything?
A little bit.
Is there a broom nearby?
Behind you. And then there's a
I take
doorway
it
to the
and
south.
I take it and I began sweeping the floors.
Okay. While you're sweeping, though, you notice a white powder that's been blown all over the place. It's not cocaine. It is a magical chalk that was sprinkled around the periphery of the stage. Roll an Arcana check.
Okie dokie. Okay.
You pretty much think that this magic chalk was laid out by an amateur, or perhaps it may have been put out on like that intentionally. It doesn't look like whoever did it did a very good job.
Alright, next time I'm just gonna roll in that dice tower. Okay, since Cassandra doesn't know any better, she's just going to sweep all of those chalk away and the dust away.
And you don't realize that what the group has just gone through.
Nope, I'm just rolling with the flow.
So this really confusing Cassandra comes from the room in the back, and she's all of a sudden now here with you guys in the main tent. Wilbur and Chaz have found a back room chamber full of portals. And you guys weren't able to leave earlier.
I'm going to check out this chest.
Okay.
And I'll look at Wilbur and say, should we all go? Should we try these portals? Probably best if we all go together. But I wonder. Go ahead.
Oh, continue. I'm sorry. I thought you were done with your statement.
I was just letting Laerun know I was reaching over and interacting with the chest.
Okay. The chest has a large ruby embedded on it. It appears to be locked. So in other words, you can't open it.
Yeah. Well, then as I look back at Wilbur, as you know, like, what do you think? I'm gonna go over and take out one of these umbrellas while I'm waiting for what Wilbur thinks.
Yeah, I agree with you. If we do decide to go through these portals, we should all go through the same one. We shouldn't be separated. I guess we're all trapped here now for some reason, so we might as well all leave together, at least if we can leave.
All right. So Wilbur, why don't you roll an Arcana check here? He's over there looking at these umbrellas.
I'm pulling one umbrella out, not the ruby one.
Okay. There's a ruby one. There's a wooden one. And then there's an ivory one.
I will pull out the ivory one.
Okay. So Wilbur, you notice that these devices or these things, these rods, are some sort of portal attunement.
The rods are they rods the umbrellas then?
Yes.
Interesting. Chaz, the rods there, they do something with the portals. They act as some sort of anchoring device. And they may be able to help us get out. Are the portal mirrors made of the same materials as the umbrellas? Do the materials match?
I was just gonna ask that.
You
Is
know?
there a wood one? Is there an ivory one? Is there a red one?
Yes.
One?
Yes.
So I'll take the ivory one that I have in my hand and go to the ivory portal. Is that is that this one?
Yep.
I will head over there and touch the rod to the portal. And I want to envision seeing just outside the very front of this tent.
Okay.
So I can see the bones, the big dragon bones.
Okay. You don't have the vision you were looking for. Let's go ahead and roll an Arcana check. So you attune yourself to the power of the attunement rod, and you can feel its connection to the portal. But you're missing one important thing, and that is the words of power. So you will need to work with Wilbur to figure out what that sentence or what those phrases would be, or maybe look for more clues.
Well, I will let Wilbur know, and then I'll call out to everybody else. Seems like we may have found a possible way, but if anybody's good at searching or magic in general, feel free to come on in.
This is a natural segue into this question that I've been needing to ask. I know that this is done a lot of different ways, and depending on what table you're at, so this is something I need to clarify. How do you feel about spell components, DM? Like, if a spell has a material cost, do you want us to have that component?
I would prefer it.
Okay.
Or at least that you had one in your possession at one time. if you don't have it now, I would say you're going to have to come up with it.
Okay. Cool. Then I will search around the premises. There's a spell I can try to identify the item, but that might give us the words of power, but I don't have one of the components that I need. I need a pearl.
Hmm.
And I will continue to, and I will go and search around and try and find a pearl that is worth 100 gold pieces.
Okay.
It's an expensive pearl.
Well, since you went there, Skugmoe, can you please roll a perception, please? Well, you heard the word pearl. You know what that is. You've harvested them along the riverbanks. It is something that you have done almost your entire time you've been in Silverymoon. You have harvested freshwater pearls from a freshwater native clam-like creature that lives along the rocks and the banks of the Ravin River. So one of the things you had scavenged was a pearl-like item. So you heard the word pearl, and your ears perked up, and it kind of jarred your memory as to some of the things you had scavenged earlier.
Okay, I will walk in and try to find Wilbur.
Okay, so go ahead and move your token.
We'll say Pearl.
Yes, a pearl. Don't. It's if you have one, that'd be great. It's not consumed by the spell or anything, so I can just give it back to you after I cast.
I start going through my pockets, and I pick out an albino mouse and hand it to him.
This is not. Is the mouse alive or is it dead?
Oh, it's alive.
Oh, oh no. This is not a pearl, not a pearl.
No,
And I will
hold this one. And I
by
pull
its
out the
tail.
sock. I'll pull out the sock that I scavenged and start going through it and see if I find anything I think might be a pearl.
Okay. Inside the scavenged materials, you do find a very fancy-looking pearl. This doesn't look quite like the ones that you've harvested. It has a lot more color to it, and it looks like it may have belonged to another group of pearls. Perhaps someone's broken necklace or something along the lines, but it's not a freshwater pearl, but it is a pearl nonetheless.
Oh, shiny. I say, Wilbur, pearl, and you give me friend, Mo friend.
I give Mo back his mouse friend, and I take the little pearl, and I will reach into my component pouch and pull out an owl's feather as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pull my goggles down. I'll press some of the buttons on them, so you'll see different colored lenses come down over my eyes, uh, giving that kind of like Dragon Ball Z power level kind of thing, essentially. And I will cast Identify on the rod.
Okay. So the go ahead and let's roll some Arcana here with advantage.
Ooh, okay.
You recognize this this wand is like, or a rod is a tuning rod for the portals, in particular the one that you guys are examining. It is made of ivory, but it has properties of a magical attunement rod, and along its length there is an illusionary type of rune that wasn't previously visible. And as you become more attuned to it, you notice the words Hocus Pocus on the side of it.
Well, that's a strange command phrase. May I see that for a moment?
By all means.
Perfect. I will take the rod and I will go up to the portal. And I will envision the outside of the tent where Rufus was standing. I will tap the portal with the rod and say Hocus Pocus.
Okay. Immediately after doing so, you disappear through the portal. Anybody else have anything to say while these guys are...
I would just like to go into the room
Okay.
and see what's going on.
Okay. As you enter, you notice Wilbur has disappeared.
What? I will
Through
try
the
to follow
portal.
him. I will try to follow him.
Okay. As you get close to the portal, you're not able to go beyond it.
Ah, Daedra sighs in frustration. Why does he do these things?
I don't think he was expecting to be transported through the portal. I think we were just hoping to set the portal so we could all walk through.
He was playing with things he doesn't understand again, wasn't he?
Well, he supposedly cast Identify on the object. Perhaps it didn't fully make him aware of its capabilities.
Can we see him through the door mirror portal thing?
Nope.
Okay, well, how did he do it? What do you use? We have more of them?
So I pointed at the 2 remaining umbrellas. I said, we took an ivory one. There's a wooden umbrella and a ruby one. It corresponds to, well, other portals here. I don't know if Hocus Pocus would be the same command words on those as it was for the ivory one, but perhaps. But I am curious about this. You look strong. What do we know about this sarcophagus? Can we open it?
I can try, but, looks are deceiving. Daedra, we'll take a look at the sarcophagus and see if she can determine how it opens.
It's rather heavy. It can't be moved without a bunch of people. And
Daedra will call for Amber and Ren. Say, got some heavy lifting. If anyone can help.
so Cassandra, you hear them calling out for the rest of the group.
Mm-hmm. Ren, Amber, Daedra's calling us.
So Ren, Amber, you are at the place where you came in.
Ren's looking toward Amber to see what she's gonna do.
Okay.
Amber's just waiting for her turn.
So
well, I have
Amber,
a ready to action to follow your turn.
Yeah, I don't know if we were going by the combat tracker.
apparently not.
Oh, common tracker. I see. Okay. In this case, what to do? Well, what kind of things have I not have done yet? Mm, do I see a small pebble around here, perhaps?
Not in here, but out in the tent area. Did you call for Amber and
Mm-hmm.
Ren? Okay.
Call for them. Go inside the little room, and inside, do I perhaps see a jar or a small trinket?
In this room, maybe on the end where your friend Chaz is, there's some strange trinkets and such that might be in those little crates, the wooden crates.
All right, I move nearby and search.
Okay. So Wilbur, you are basically in a different area. So that's where we're gonna leave off on the for your part of the adventure.
Alrighty.
Ren, you're deferring to Amber, so you
Right.
want to follow her lead. So
Yeah, I have the manacles back on, and I'm kind of holding them out if she wants to attach the rope and take me along.
okay. So Amber, Cassandra called for you, and it looks like most of the group has entered that back room where that strange man had come from.
Okay. Are we going to go in order? Because, I've been sitting out here waiting for my turn all this time, and finally I get my turn.
Yep.
Yep.
It's your turn. I'm with you.
Okay, I put the manacles back on, hold the rope, and I start moving forward 25 feet,
Okay.
which isn't far enough.
We'll get you closer within earshot, everybody.
Okay.
So,
You know what? I'm going to just dash and just go in the room because I don't
Yeah.
need to do anything. I just want to get in the room.
Okay.
See what's going on. Yeah, wow, there's a lot of weird stuff in here. Yeah, can I move like over there? I'm going to move over there so that I make room for Ren. Oh, he's going to move there? Whichever. Just was making some room. And so where's Wilbur?
through the portal. We were hoping that it would just set the gateway that we could walk through, but instead it, took him someplace. I wasn't able to get a good look on where he was going.
Ren's like, Wilbur. So, Amber, you notice that there are a bunch of strange objects. You see and notice that Daedra is trying to check out the sarcophagus. And looks like Chaz was messing around with the rods in the corner of the room, which are like umbrella handles. But they apparently are using them as magic items of some sort.
Okay, because if Mary Poppins comes in this room, I'm going to be very mad. Daedra, would you like some help seeing if we can open up that sarcophagus? It looks super heavy.
It is very heavy, and I'm hoping there's answers inside. I have to get to Wilbur.
Hopefully not a dead spirit that's going to attack us when we open up the sarcophagus.
We have it surrounded.
Help action.
Actually, if you want to take over, I'm not actually very muscular.
Okay, I will try lifting it, and you can help me.
Okay.
So let me get my help action here. Do I just click the effect and it goes on me, right?
Nope. The help action comes
No?
from her.
Oh, okay.
Do I have
Disregard
to-
that.
I can drop it on.
Lady
Do
Shell's
you have
character.
to drop it on me? I guess you
Yes.
do, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're going to do a strength check or an athletics check.
Oh, you needed me to do a strength check, right?
Yep.
So in the actions tab, is it the left one on the strength or only oh wait a minute. Oh, never mind. I see. See, check for C.
Can I help her? She needs help if I see she wants to do it.
You can see her doing very well, like picking it up, but she's not able to actually lift or open it. But for just one lonely dwarf, and then the added what do you call it, leverage from Daedra, you're able to discern that you need to help them.
All right, I'll go over and help.
So go ahead and do a athletics check. So you're able to get it to budge with their help. You haven't lifted anything this powerful or this strong before.
I give out a little.
It wasn't little. It almost sounded like you gave birth.
Oh, I've heard animals make that noise. That's not a good sign.
No,
Looks at the floor.
he might have had a blowout. Yeah, he almost busted his O-ring. Let's see there. Okay, so it looks like this thing weighs a ton, and inside, as you crack the lid open, are hundreds of little trinkets and treasures, little shiny baubles and jewelry and all kinds of things. It really looks like somebody had went through a lot of trouble to store this stuff in here. Amber, make an Arcana check.
Not my strongest suit.
Well, as you appear to look in there, you recognize some of these baubles, and you're thinking, my, I've hit the jackpot for someone that's looking to summon creatures and spirits and such. So from what you can tell, all these baubles and trinkets in here are used to summon entities and spirits and creatures.
So Amber probably says this is these little trinkets that are in here are the way that the whatever circus master, what was his title?
Drillbus.
Oh, Drillbus, but didn't he have a title? Wasn't he like ringmaster or something?
No.
Anyway, this is how he summoned those creatures that he enslaved in this building here.
Interesting. That is a lot of creatures to summon.
I mean, there's hundreds of these things. It could possibly be that these items get consumed when the spirits are summoned, or maybe they're crushed and used in some other ritual, but nonetheless, there's a ton of it. There'd be enough here to summon an army. And the mechanical lock that was on the sarcophagus was not locked, thank God. But the lid itself was so heavy that not very many people could open it. So without the help of the Bugbearian, this challenge would have been, kind of pointless.
Was that a DC 20 or something?
No, but it's pretty hard to do.
Well,
But alas, that still does not get us out of the building. Because I don't think we should summon stuff and hope they help us. Go ahead.
Right.
Is Skugmoe gonna crawl in there and fill his bag with the little prizes?
Good question. Shinies.
Looks at the
He's
goblin.
looking at the shiny ruby on that chest.
That's a biggin.
Yeah.
I will reach in. Chaz will reach in and just grab a stone, a bauble from inside the sarcophagus.
Okay. You see all manner of amethysts and silver ingots and all kinds of knickknacks in there. And as Amber said, she was right. The requirements for summoning things would take a lot of these components.
So these are, as far as we know, these are just components. These aren't.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
Is there a pearl in there?
Yeah. Matter of fact, there is.
I'm going to see if I can take 2 pearls.
Okay.
Would Amber be able to, like, do a history check to see if she can tell the, like, the sarcophagus, if it looks familiar?
Oh,
I'm gonna guess it's
yes.
Netherese or something, but
Yep.
which
Why don't
she
you
probably
roll?
knows nothing about.
Well, go ahead and roll a history check.
History check. Too bad it isn't stonework. Okay.
Well, whoever made it, it's not Dwarven. Yes, it is definitely ancient Netherese.
So I know nothing about it.
You know it's Netherese, you know it's not Dwarven, and you know that whoever crafted it actually did a damn good job. But you would never admit that.
Yeah, of course not. Not as good as a dwarf, but hey, second rate is pretty good too. Yeah, I admit I tell everyone else that this isn't Netherese not description, but what it looks like it's from. The sarcophagus is Netherese, and yeah, it was well done. Not quite Dwarven, but well done.
Makes sense. All of the runes so far have been of Netherese as well. I wonder if this being's of Netherese or just somebody who's stumbled upon something.
So, let's talk about the Netherese. When we end the game session here, I would like a couple of you that care to look into what the Netherese may have been known for and what they were about. Cassandra, you've actually studying Netherese literature recently. Perhaps you could do some research for our next game session so that you can make an educated guess or at least have more information and help these others crack this code of why all this stuff is Netherese and who actually is this Drillbus, the circus guy or whatever. What do we call him? The ringleader. That's what you were looking for, the title.
I'm thinking maybe Netherese burial stuff would be a good start because of the fact that this is a sarcophagus. Maybe learning what is entailed with that and why would there be these trinkets inside.
Right. I would like actually all of you to do a little bit of research on the Netherese. And Cassandra, we want to see a full report on the Netherese Empire and what they did and why they did it. How does
And
that?
we are playing again on the 21st.
Yep, we are. Are you here, Cassandra?
Maybe she took off to study.
Yep. The Black Desert, Tolnadar, the Dying Tribes. Oh, this is so much information. So the Nether East came from the Great Sand Sea, is that correct?
Yep. While you're listening to everybody mentioning Nether East stuff, I would imagine by the next game session that you will recalled some of your recent studies. I'm not expecting you to whip it all out now, but if you can think of a way to allude or to come up with a reason why, or maybe a connection. So a little recap.
Understood.
The guy that basically trapped them here, and supposedly you, looked or at least appeared to be related somehow to the Netherese. The power that he displayed was really powerful.
I recall you saying that different depending on who looked at him, he looked different, but still, I believe you said Netherese for everybody, but they were different. Like one said a lord, and the other said wizard. I think.
And another said a loser that needs a
Old
life.
wizard and the lonely person.
Loser old man. Yeah, that's right.
So he looked differently to most of the people, but since Wilbur and Chaz were attuned to magic, they could see more of that. The rest of you may or may not have seen that, but you saw other sides of him. He does have a weakness. I'm hoping you guys will figure what that is. He has a lot of strengths. So until you can make the connection and understand where he came from, you will not be very successful in getting out of this puzzle. So I'm hoping that you guys will come up with some sort of lore and story that would make sense for the situation. So you know that you're trapped somehow in a pocket dimension or in some strange illusion, and whoever's running the show here is very powerful, and they may or may not, who knows, but they probably were or still are, a Netherese lord or some sort of powerful individual from that empire.
In reality, though, if we were trapped in this room and to get that knowledge, there would have to be some kind of books or something in this room for us to get.
Well, your
right?
book, yeah.
Are you going to allow it?
No.
We find out the answer in this room.
All the answers are not in the room. The answers are scattered between all of you. And Cassandra has to come up with her piece of the puzzle. So everybody saw this individual except for her. So she wasn't able to get the visual cues. However, when we were making her character, one of the things that she was intrigued with was the Netherese. So that was something that she could potentially pull out of her memory from reading books. So in a sense, your book is with you. It's just a matter of getting her caught up to the storyline and having her fit in the pieces.
And just to confirm, the Netherese is the or the Netheril is the Empire of Magic, or the Empire with the pinnacle of human civilization, correct?
Mm-hmm. Those guys. And they possess magic and power that has not been seen in many, many, many years.
Yes, ancient magic.
Yep.
Oh.
And
Some ringmaster may have been a Netherese arcanist or something of the sort.
right. And you need to understand what they were doing or why they were doing it in order to help unlock the riddle that you're in now. You're kind
So
of
they
it.
perhaps.
Yeah, go ahead.
They perhaps would like to, I don't know, bring back the Empire once more?
It's hard to say. You're going to have to do a little bit more research and speak with your colleagues and come up with a good story. And when we play again. What was that? The 21st?
21st. Also, if you want us to talk to each other, I guess we would do it in the group RP
Yes.
room.
Yep. You guys can discuss whatever you like, even if it's fun. But I would hope that you would discuss amongst yourselves, like your groups. You have team blue, green, and tan. And then come together in the group chat when you come up with something. Based off of what you guys research and find out, I'm going to move the story further along and hopefully help you get out of this mess.
Might be a silly question, but is there some way Daedra could communicate with Wilbur until we play again, since he is an area unknown?
Yeah, you can talk to him about everything up to the point that he left.
Okay.
But to communicate with him beyond that point doesn't make sense. It actually advances the storyline. So I would say probably you can talk to him about everything that led up to this moment of him disappearing.
Okay.
And he knew that there was some Netherese magic, so it's not like he doesn't know. So he is near, but he's very far too. So next time we play, we're going to start here and try to figure a way out or how to find out what happened to him.
Hopefully he's got Rufus with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
I just wanted my dog.
Yeah, that's all he cared about.
Well,
I just wanted my dog.
Lady Shell doesn't have her pony.
That's true.
I mean, my dog is also an integral part of my class.
I know. It took away his toys. So basically, we are going to come back. I'll give you guys a short rest. Cassandra, you can add 25 XP to your character since you did show up. And I'm going to give you guys a short rest. Let's see. And we'll see what happens on the 21st. You looking
Did any
forward
of the
to
rest
that?
of us get any XP?
Yeah, actually, all of you that joined get 25. Wilbur already did his, but all of you can add manually 25 to your experience points.
Every little bit of XP helps.
Yep. Whenever you show up, you get 25.
That's all we get? We don't get anything for the session?
No.
You're a mean DM.
No, I'll give you guys some. I kind of have like a mixture between XP and milestones. So.
All right, thanks, Laerun. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
different.
great. Thank you very much.
Different. And I apologize that some of you didn't get churns or some of the dialogue went long, but we
No,
were
that's
trying
all
to
right.
role play and kind of
Well,
get.
we should clarify out of combat. How do we? I'm used to free form, but
Mm-hmm.
with players being aware that don't dominate the time. So
Okay.
like maybe 30 seconds or a minute, and then to try to bring people in. Like, hey, maybe everybody should come in. As a
Yeah, we kind
hook
of did
for
that.
others to talk about that versus CT. So that's what I'm used to. If other players are strictly combat tracker all the time, even when out of combat, we probably need to bring that forward on the table so all the players kind of know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
I ran one way, obviously Lady Shell ran another way, and those expectations didn't meet each other.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was in between.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I tend to both play and DM in a very free form way when it's out of combat as well. So.
Yep.
Well, we never even got our initiative. So but we were taking turns because
in combat,
specifically
right?
remember passing turns. Everybody was passing turns, so I figured we were going by turn order.
Okay. Yep. Sometimes the dialogue will take up some time, and then even if you go in turn order, you're gonna find yourself sitting there. So it's normal.
Yeah, I'm fine with the mixture.
Yep. It just depends on what's happening and the direction the story's going. I was really hoping that you guys would at least get to this point where kind of a jumping point.
You wanted us stuck in this building.
Actually, I don't want you stuck here. I want you guys to get out.
Well, one of us has.
Yeah.
Wherever they are.
I've got no idea.
Nope. He won't know until next time we play. I'm going to give you a little bit of an inkling there, Wilbur, before we play again.
Did you use the portal to move him to another map?
No, I didn't use the. You're talking about the extension?
Oh, the extension.
Yeah, the portal.
Yeah. No, I didn't use that.
Diablo Bob.
The reason I didn't, because the portal's basically on the same map. So that's why I didn't.
Well, cool.
Hold on. Let me get one thing straight. We were invited into a really great and grand circus, begged by an old man to at least help him around, and now we're currently stealing and doing some things to his stuff. Are we the bad guys here?
No.
No. No.
She didn't. She didn't experience the melee that just happened, or what he had just said to them. They had some dialogue, so you guys might have to fill her in on that.
Well, aren't you posting this on YouTube so that we can watch it again and make sure we didn't miss out on anything?
Yeah, we can do that.
That'd be cool.
Yep. So, how do you guys? So we're gonna do a mixture of dialogue and role play, and try to do some turn order. Is that the consensus?
I think if we just announce we're going to go out of turn order and just do freeform now, just to give us a heads up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that as long as it's announced, which way we're doing it, so I don't wonder why am I never getting a.
Okay.
My thing is if we're in turn order, just make it really clear that we're in turn order. When we're freeform, just let us know.
Well, that's what I was saying. You in combat, out of combat, kind of. I don't know.
I'm sure we'll get our groove once
Mhm.
we figure out what we're doing. It won't be a problem.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit to get your chemistry and that sort of thing. So,
We have some good starts.
yep.
I agree.
All right. So, thanks for playing, and hopefully it wasn't too grueling. That was a good, solid 4 hours. So,
No, it was good.
It's definitely
21st.
intriguing.
21st.
Yep.
Same time.
Oh, this is
Cool.
great. I had a lot of fun.
So
All
same
right,
time
cool.
with the shift. I'm in Arizona, so for me it's going to be an hour earlier.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, is that going to
Yeah.
hurt you?
It just moved me from 8 to 7.
Is that a problem?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm flexible on my time if you need to move it a little.
Yeah,
Cassandra?
because you don't move, right? Yeah, you don't recognize U.S. because you're in Japan. So,
Right.
do you
My-
guys do daylight savings time in Japan?
No.
Lucky.
Stays.
Yeah, it just stays the same for me.
What about you, Cassandra?
It was just a one-time thing, so hopefully on 21st I'll be here on time.
Right, but when do you change your clocks, or do you?
Next week we may have a change in schedule, so I do hope next on 21st. But I'll just inform you, Laerun, if there's any changes in my schedule.
All right, because we have the ours changes this weekend.
Our daylight
Tonight,
savings.
actually, 2
Yeah.
a.m.
Yeah. So.
That's why
That's-
it's 3. I was
Yeah,
really
it's already
we lost an
changed.
hour there.
All
The
right.
computer
True.
knows.
Okay, folks. You know what to do. I'll see you guys on the 21st.
Okay,
All right.
thanks,
All right,
Laerun.
cool.
Later, all.
See you
Alright,
guys.
thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Night, guys.
Right.